in a row. If we win another third one, we'll bring a third one into the studio. So we'll squeeze them, we'll squash them all in.
Plenty of room.
It's a big one today, isn't it, Bridgie? Let me come to you first. 10 points over that Christmas period and looking to build on that away form that's suddenly just going in the right direction.
Yeah, and the away form, like you say, it's Stoke, Derby win, going into the Christmas period. That was huge. And, I think our away stats now, so we're top in the rankings for home wins. And we've turned that away thing round now, we're second rank. So, that Christmas period, me and Dom know it's a tough period of games. And to go to Stoke and Derby and get the wins and then to come back on New Year's Day, I think it was just, the game didn't deliver. Blackburn came with a game plan and they suffocated defensively, nullified the game. You've got to credit their game plan. We didn't find a way, but we didn't get beat. So we go again, and now we've got got to go over there and beat the Tigers. So it's going to be an interesting afternoon, and I'm sure one that we can do.
Yeah, 10 points from those 4 games over a busy Christmas period is pretty outstanding work. To be fair, and actually how it's worked out with some results for Sheffield United, and actually that points suddenly looked like a very good one, didn't it, on New Year's Day? 10 points from 12, sitting top of the table, still in a great position.
And I still think there's room for improvement. That's the truth. But we'd take that all day long. Of course we would. We knew that the Blackburn game was going to be difficult. They're very hard to play against, very difficult, very physical. And I think they defended really well. It's got to give them some credit as well. But I think in the final third, we weren't at our best. Usually at home, we get the wide lads up and at it early on. But we just didn't have that. And I think, again, we're just missing that little bit of that finesse in the final, like
someone to unlock a door.
Yeah, just someone to bring a bit of craft into that game, and it was just one of those games. I always felt like they will get a chance, and they did, and they took it. It was a sloppy goal, but I was very frustrated from a defensive point of view. When you obviously score a goal, you're very successful. You can concede, and we did very quickly. And you've got to look back at that.
We were chatting about that, the mindset, and it's good to have a different opinion from you. I was saying, when you're at that, it's the adrenaline, the excitement. You lose your structure, but from a defensive player side of it, what's that like?
What we used to rule of thumb for me was win it back quickly. So obviously you've scored, then go and get the ball back quick within 3 touches, and we didn't do that. And then they got on the counter, and then they go and get a set piece and they score. Yeah, that's what happens.
We can see the players arriving. Dom, I know you know a lot of people at Blackburn, obviously with your connections there, and John Eustace, the manager. Yeah. They've just lost to Burnley at home. Could you have a word so that they put in the performances in the right games rather than the wrong games?
Yeah.
Because that does mean that Burnley now go level on points with us again. They've kind of done their lunchtime business. Now it's over to us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's like in the Championship. It's very hard to predict any game. But yeah, listen, he'll be frustrated because they haven't won very often at Blackburn, so they will be frustrated. But listen, it's all about what we do. We can't worry about other teams. We've got the best team in the league. We've got to go out and do what we can do and perform properly. And again, it's another chance to prove away from home we are good and we can win games.
The lads look very relaxed coming in there.
I know.
Lovely array, as always, of wash bags. I always like to see them bringing those in. But they do look relaxed. And I would have thought in some ways they'll know that after this game there is a little bit of a break, for the first time in quite a chunk of time, and it's it's a lot for the players, but they will actually get a little break after this one just to reset and to go, which kind of makes this game an important one to make sure it's a positive result.
It certainly is, like you say, especially with that Burnley result coming. The lads know what they've got to do, and people say, do you look at other results? Well, they'll know, because obviously you've got your phones, you know exactly what's going on. There'll be other players saying, and the message will be thrown down to the lads. They're going to say, Burnley have gone and done theirs. We've got to go away from home, back it up and get a result, just like we did against Stoke and Derby. So all in all, if you'd have said for the amount of points over that Christmas New Year period, would you have taken them? All day long, and the unbeaten run continues, and we've got to make sure everybody is mentally focused. The only thing that can let us down today, playing Hull, is ourselves. If you're not mentally ready and don't applicate yourself right in this game, we've got to be defensively switched on, because Dom mentioned it. Lapse of concentration at a set play offered Blackburn 2 opportunities in the game, one in the first half and one in injury time, and they scored from it. So I think if we can be defensively switched on, this team score goals.
In terms of being defensively switched on, there are a couple of changes to the team that took to the field here at Ellen Road on New Year's Day against Blackburn. They are Ethan Ampadu, who comes in for Pascal Strike. Pascal Strike did travel with the team, but we hear has an ankle injury, so they were giving him as much opportunity as possible to make the team, but he hasn't done so. The other change is Max Wöber comes in for Sam Byram at the moment, and also worth mentioning, Pat Bamford's not on with the squad today. He's got a slight hamstring injury, of which I'm sure Daniel Farke will let us know about after the match today. But in terms of that defensive partnership today will be Ethan Ampadu and Joe Rodon, and it's Pascal Struijk who misses out through an injury.
Yeah, Pascal's been doing well. We know what he brings. He also brings goals and he's a leader. But obviously them two, I mean, Ampadu's played more games as centre-half than he has in midfield. I think, we all know that. But Ampadu, for me, has been key anyway. When he came back in, he was brilliant when he came back in. He's been a bit of a miss for me. And I didn't think how much we would miss him because he's so good, he's so clever. He's the player who could step up and play in the Premier League when we get there, that type of play. He knows what he's doing, he knows how to play football, and he can play in any position. Not many people can do that, play in midfield and step back as a defender and play out wide. He can play anywhere, that kid, and I think he's a real top player, I really do.
I was speaking to a few Leeds fans that were leaving on the away buses this afternoon, and they were saying the manager's got a headache decision to make in that midfield. If you start Ampadu, do you play Rothwell or Tanaka? And it's a nice problem to have for the manager, but this, in Pascal's absence, sorts that problem out, because if you've got Ampadu and Tanaka, they're both very defensive-oriented players. You miss Rothwell's deliveries and his set plays. So it's the conundrum being sorted. Ampadu comes in and you've still got that midfield, which I think gives a nice little balance, because you've got Rothwell going forward, you've got Tanaka that can win the ball back. So I think it balances the team out. Yes, we've got a leader out, and the reason he's travelled, we used to take Dom away when he was out with suspensions or injuries, because he was our captain and leader as well, like Chief was. You need them characters on the bus and on the journey to be around the squad to keep you in tow and to just know that they're there. That's why Pascal's gone.
Imagine a Dom Matteo on the sideline shouting at you if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
It's not nice if you didn't do your job. He told you, by the way.
Frightening thought. And in terms of the front three, because this is the other one where we've seen a little bit of rotation over that Christmas period, it's the same that started against Blackburn and have started the majority of those matches, which is Manor Solomon, Joel Piroe through the middle, and Dan James as well. They're the three that get the nod.
Yeah, and I think Piroe, again, when I was chatting to the fans today, we're going through the whole team. They said, you're going to go with Matteo Joseph, or you're going to go with Joel Piroe. And I'd said I would have gone with Piroe for the reason that I think he's an all-round finisher. And in this type of game, I think we've got players on the wings that can counter-attack really well when we win the ball back and don't allow Hull to get in their shape. And when they're going to find Joel, I think he's got the all-rounder finishing to do that and get on the end of crosses from the likes of Solomon. And one man that I think is going to up his game is, on the other side, Dan James. He had a little bit of a lonely spell against Blackburn. I think he's going to be key today.
Well, let's hope he is. Let's hear from the man himself. Dan James talking to us here on LUTV ahead of today's big trip away at Hull.
Well, Dan, back in Hull. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's always nice to come back. We've had some tough fixtures over the last couple of years, so we know it's going to be another tough one today. It's been a very busy period, and it'd be great to come away with 3 points today.
There'll be an expectation. Their home form's not been great, but it doesn't always work that way in the Championship, does it?
No, it doesn't. They're going to come out with a lot of confidence today. It's a team that it's a Yorkshire derby. They're going to be up for it. We're going to be up for it. We're both looking forward to a good game.
Away form's been okay over this Christmas period. You just want to keep that run going, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's something that we wanted to improve on. We had 2 over the Christmas period, won them both. So we want to keep that up.
Good luck. Thank you
very much. Cheers. Thank you.
So there you go, Dan James will be looking to make an impact today, as he has in so many of the games this season for Leeds United. Very, very cold MKM Stadium. We're a little bit toastier here, but yeah, it's snoods and gloves all round, and some players braving it a bit more than others. There you go, Joe Rothwell straight into the shorts already.
What's all that about?
Good to go.
Snoods and all that. Get on with it.
Oh, here he goes.
Oh, come on.
Back in my day, we never did that.
Wearing all that stuff. Come on.
You getting a bib? Can we get in a bib, Dom?
I put a bib on, that's about it.
Used to get the yellow bib every Friday for the worst player.
Bridgie, let's not go on that one, mate. Hold on a minute. Bridgie.
I'll sign up more than anybody.
Mate.
It's almost a shame. It's almost a shame we're on picture of the players at the moment, because if you see these two right now. In terms of the team, it is a big game, and they'll be looking to respond from New Year's Day. Look, like we said, 10 points from 4 games is great, but you do want to see a response, and they'll want to do that straight away and keep adding the pressure to the other teams that are around them at the top of the table.
Of course, yeah. Listen, that's what it's all about. And I think as a football, this is what you want. These are the kind of games you want to be. You want to be up there, and you want to be, in that position. It's now how you can manage that. And I think we've got the right manager. We've certainly got the squad. Again, the one thing I know Bridgie can probably talk more about that is just for the finish. We need a striker. I think that's the one thing that I keep saying every time on here about the striker. You know, we get ourselves in great positions, just got no one to tap them in. I mean, we've seen people deliver lots of balls into the box, just somebody just to tap them in. And that is a key thing that we need.
I think if we could mould Joel Piroe and Mateo Joseph with all the attributes together, that's the kind of striker that we are looking out for and crying for. Because, you know, you've got the pace, Mateo Joseph, the anticipation when he gets across defenders inside the area to beat the defender for the little nick crosses, and he's also got I think the more physical presence as well. But he's got to, when the crosses are coming in, he times it right, but he just doesn't get that. He hasn't got that clinical finish like Joel has. And I think Joel Piroe has got all kinds of finishing. We've seen him get tap-ins, headers, flicks. But so if you could mould them in, I think that's what Dom's alluding to. We could do with that kind of target man. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the guy, but I would love to play in this team because, like Dom says, what you do you get chances created for you because of the way Daniel Farke has us set up and the deliveries that we've got.
Don't you think though, because we know how we play and the wide lads, you know, firing them balls in.
Yeah.
Surely the centre forward should know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he should be getting on the end of it. That's just.
I think sometimes
I'm not a striker, but when the ball comes across, someone's got to be there just to touch it in. That's just my own opinion.
Let's take a look back at that New Year's Day clash against Blackburn Rovers, which did prove some frustration. I mean, we take a look at how it panned out. Pascal Struijk saying afterwards in his post-match interview, it felt like a defeat for the guys, even though it definitely wasn't. It could end up being a very important point. But just talk us through this, because in the end, and you talk about striker, Mateo Joseph away at Preston and here making an impact from the bench.
That anticipation and pace that he's got, this with a quick thinking to win the penalty. Blatant penalty, referee got it absolutely spot on. There was a lot of speculation in the media and all the games after that. This wasn't, and I've got to say, as a striker, I'm taking it. I don't know what Dom's opinion is, but Pascal stepped up and he took the goal. So that at that point, I think everybody in this ground was thinking that's 3 points done and dusted, but we switched off.
Yeah, again, I think, you know, as a defender, concentration levels, you have to be bang on. So when you score, what do you do next? You have to make sure you're concentrated and ready for that ball coming in, and we just didn't do that. And I think they're just little fine details that players at the highest level and better players wouldn't do that. They'd have that more organised. And I think, again, who's talking, who's leading that? They've just, you know, we just scored. Right, boys, relax. You know, go and win the ball back and don't concede quickly.
So did you understand the mindset of Pascal after the game when he was getting interviewed, when he said it feels like a loss even though we're still undefeated? As a defender, is that what... Because the manner we conceded.
But he's a centre half, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he should know
he's feeling
that.
responsible.
And he's more of a captain as well. You've got captains out there, so he should be the one saying to them, why aren't you getting away? Clear it. And I just think there's small details that, as a defender, you've got to be so good at. And I think we can get better. Like something you can learn and something you can improve in.
It was just one of that game. I could not watch Blackburn week in, week out because I've seen the possession stats are way down, but organised defensively, 10 clean sheets, that tells a tale. So he's got them playing a certain way against certain teams, which works, but I couldn't go and watch that. It's not for me.
Not banner season to get any time soon.
Definitely not. No.
In terms of the result, I mean, you know, Leeds have come to expect to win at home. Do you think there is a slight element potentially of all the crowd, the 36,000 in there, maybe the players a bit too great? We've done it. I mean, there was a lot of injury time to be played in that as well. But a moment that Daniel can just turn around to the team and say, listen, regardless of what's happening, until that last whistle goes, you know, you keep going, because it was
them all.
Yeah.
So it's still an undefeated. Like Pascal says, it feels like a defeat. That's good to hear because it's a draw. It's a point. That point could be valuable. I mean, it put us top and it threw the gauntlet back to Sheffield United that day, who had to go to Sunderland and get a result, and they didn't. You know what I mean? It was 2-1. They got defeated. So that point turned valuable. But today, we're seeing Burnley when we've got to go and throw the initiative and get the 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. OK, well, we are counting down to kick off just over 15 minutes away, getting ready for what should be a fantastic afternoon of football here on Matchday Live on LUTV. Let's cross over to the MKM and get the thoughts of our commentary team, Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
It's a cold one here at Hull today, but no sign of the snow yet. That's forecast for later on. Let's start with a look at the team news. Couple of changes to talk about, enforced as well, it would appear.
Yes, Pascal Struijk unfortunately is out, ankle injury. They tried to get him fit, but unfortunately didn't quite make it. So Ampadu will come in. And Sam Byram is out. Of course, he was struggling physically, wasn't he, in the last game? So he's out, and Max Wöber comes in.
But when you look at the side, it's still got a strong look to it, hasn't it?
Yes, and that's why we talked about our squad, the depth that we've got on that bench as well. So when we do have one or two injuries, the players coming in are equally as strong. So it still looks an extremely strong side.
Now, on paper, this is a game that, given Hull's recent form, Leeds will be expected to win, isn't it?
Yes, they're struggling at home. They really are. And lost to Middlesbrough, of course, 1-0 here. Possession-wise, they had just 30%, so they're struggling. Shots on target were, I think, 2 or 3. Pull all of that together, they're near the bottom of the table as well. Expectation is that we're going to come here and find it rather easy. That's not going to happen, but I think if we play to our best, we will get the job done.
They'll treat it like a derby, though, because there aren't too many clubs near here, and this is the big one for a lot of Hull fans.
It is, and they're thinking, well, how can we turn it around? You know, which game, what can we get? We need a spark from somewhere. This would be a great game for them to do that. But, you know, they're down there for a reason as well. It's not just 5-6 games we've played here. We're already way over halfway, and so they are struggling, and we're going to make sure, you know, there is a golfing class, but you've got to go out there and show it.
One thing we would note, as we're down at pitch level, is we've got to look at the pitch, and it's not looking in great condition, is it?
No. 30 years ago when I played, it's wonderful, but now it is not good. But it doesn't matter what the condition is like, what the pitch is like, wind, rain, snow, whatever it is. Same for both sides. Just go out there and get the job done.
There you go. Simple message from here at pitchside for Leeds United. Get the job done.
There you go, the message, get the job done. And very much, you know, a case of they have got a new manager, Hull. They're having a really torrid season. You know, for a team that in the last couple of seasons have been in better position, this has not been a good season for them so far. But we don't want to be their scalp at home for that manager and to get them going this new year.
The biggest mistake they made last season was getting rid of the manager, Rossini, because I think when they came here, they looked like a team that you could see were very good defensively. They were organised in possession. They created a lot of chances, and they just missing out in the playoffs. And then it's been free fall for them. So it's incredible to think where they are. I was looking at the stats for Hull. Yeah, they're in a relegation battle, but I think this game is going to suit us for the fact that when I looked at the Blackburn stats, 10 clean sheets I was taught about. Hull have only had 2 clean sheets. They don't score many goals, so their league position is worse than Blackburn. Blackburn, however, look very organised because they didn't have a lot of possession when they win the ball back. They knew exactly what to do. Clear the lines, keep our shape. Hull have actually got a decent possession average in the league. I think they're sitting ranked 8th. So what that suggests to me is that they've got patterns of play to get out. And I really feel that if we can win the ball back, because the pitch is terrible, so it's going to be tough to keep possession as well on the floor. When we win it back, we have got to do the transition so quick so that they can't get back in their numbers. And I think this is a game that's really going to suit us today.
Yeah, they've lost 30, I think it's 13 games they've lost. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you look at that. But I just think, again, they'll want to go out there and perform, do something, because their fans can't be happy. Like you said, Bridgie, they weren't a bad side, you know, going back a little while. You know, they've been in the Premier League, decent side. But the thing is, for me, it looks like a team that are lost. They don't really have an identity. And when you haven't got an identity, you know, you struggle, and all the players don't seem like they're on the same page. And it's just a difficult time for them. But listen, we've got to take advantage of that. If a team's struggling, what do? You go out and make sure you go and win the game.
And sometimes new managers come with new ideas. You either get a quick manager bounce from it for the players reacting to that, or you get players that are trying to work out new systems and tactics with a new manager that you need a longer period of time over to get used to. And I think we had it at Leeds United. We lost David O'Leary, then we got Terry Venables, then we had Peter Reid, and we're kind of like going, where's the tactics going? What are we doing here? And it's very hard to adapt at times when you're going through that kind, and that's where Hull find themselves. So we've got to go down there, switch on, play our game, and get the 3 points.
Yeah, let's take a look at what happened earlier in the season when Leeds ran out 2-0 winners. This was right at the beginning of the season. Look at that. People in short sleeve shirts and having a lovely time in the sunshine. Not quite like that today, but Matteo Joseph getting the first goal there in a game that really we had to be patient with, because it was the second half when the goals came, but we were patient and managed to get the win.
Yeah, and obviously Matteo Joseph was the one we all thought this year he could be the one that could go out and get all them goals. And obviously gets off to a good start, gets a good goal.
He had a good pre-season.
He did. Well, we talked about pre-season. You were over there, Tony was over there. You both mentioned that he was so good pre-season. But it doesn't matter. Match day is what it counts. And obviously he started well, got his goal, and then from there just hasn't found the back of net enough. But I do think there's potential, and he has to put them hard yards in himself. You know that, Bridgie. As a striker, you've got to still make them runs. You've got to keep getting into them areas and make them happen.
That's that near post run I was on about earlier on. This is because you get so much quality from the wide areas, which we've just seen here. That's 2 goals that have come from this left wing position that have gone into the area. You know you're going to get chances with the wingers that we have.
Yeah.
You've just got to make sure you're in the right areas to finish them off, and that's when Matteo Joseph like you say, we expect really big things. You've got to get in there.
As a striker, you've got to be greedy yourself. You've got to go and get in there. You know, don't listen to what everyone's telling you. Go and do your thing. Get yourself in that box. If it comes in, just tap it in. And that's what we see in that game. But I want to see more of that. I want to see him getting into the box and really wanting to get in that box. Because there's a difference between getting in the box and actually wanting to get in there. And I just feel like sometimes I want him to do a bit more physical, the way he attacks things and puts his body on the line for stuff. But, you know, hopefully that'll come. But obviously at the moment it's just not quite happening.
There's a player that was playing right back in that game, Coyle, used to be here at Leeds United. He'll be playing left back today, I do believe. That's why I think Dan James will have a good game, because he's the type of player that if he'll get a yellow card, there's no doubt about it. He goes around kicking everybody, he wants to fight everybody. He's one of them players. We had it with Danny Mills here, you know, the opposition hate them, but because they just make it so annoying. He's one of them players. So I think if DJ can get him on the back foot from that left back position where we saw the goals came from there, we've got to make sure that we can get at him, because I think he's very vulnerable.
Danny Mills will be buzzing with that, won't he?
This is one of those games where you look at it and you do look at all the stats you've been talking about and Hull where they are in the league and in terms of, you know, worst for home wins and all that kind of stuff. It does look at one on paper and you think, well, that's going to be a Leeds win, but these games are always, of course, trickier, especially the fact that that crowd there today, they are going to be well up for this one. Leeds coming over, it's going to be packed over there. I mean, we've seen it in various away games like we do because Leeds are a big draw, and we saw that against Derby in particular. But they should be up for this. It should be a good game, Bridgie.
It should be, and I've seen how many buses we've taken over this morning, watching the fans leave at 12 o'clock this afternoon, watching them go over. So like you say, you always get that atmosphere. I've played for both clubs as well, Rich. So, you know, I had a spell over there with Hull under Phil Parkinson and Phil Brown. Wasn't there a long period of time, but I've seen both sides of the fence. I've seen what their fans are like. I've seen ours, and at the end of the day, I know we're going there in numbers to show that we are ready, and we're top of the league. So I can't see this impact, and we can handle pressure with stadiums. We've shown the away games at Stoke and Derby. They would have been harder challenges than what Hull are going to give us today. So I am very, very confident. I'm sure the manager's absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, he will be looking forward to this one, especially if we can get 3 points. Let's get the thoughts pre-match then. Daniel Farker, who's been chatting to us here at LUTV.
Yes, it's always tricky once a new manager comes in and brings his new ideas in, and then even after a few weeks, perhaps you see a few more changes than just after a few days. Anyhow, of course, it will be a different Hull side in comparison to what we face here at Elland Road. So I expect this. But what is still the case, they have quality players. They have really good options in the offense. Of course, they are disappointed with their start into the season, or perhaps with the first half. But I'm pretty sure they will also try to use this home game also like to win also important points for them. And we're pretty aware that they will be a threat. And like the last away games, we have to be spot on in what we are doing and also in our team selection and the whole setup and to be at our best. In order to win.
OK, less than 10 minutes to go until kick-off in this big game away at Hull today. Dom, I'm going to come to you because we were talking about 10 points from 12 in that Christmas period. 2 away wins on the bounce. There's been talk about the away form. Everyone's pretty happy. Daniel Farker seemed pretty happy with that. Bridge is very happy. You say to us, I still want more from them. But what is it specifically that you want to see more? And is it particularly in these away games? What are those things that you want to see from the team, Dom?
Sometimes I think because we are the best team, and I've said that on numerous occasions, I just feel like sometimes we can be a bit lackadaisical, and rather than putting games to bed, I don't think we've done that enough this season, home and away. And I think away form, I think the way we play with the pace we have in the final third, the players should really enjoy away from home, because I know at home teams will set up differently, but every team we play against, we've got better players. But I think because we have got that quality of squad, I believe we can do better. Why wouldn't I say that? Because every player wants to improve every time you go out in the training session. You want to get better. I feel like there's a lot more still to give from all these players. I'm not saying we're not trying to do,
which is a positive considering we're top of the league.
It's not me having a go. I just want it to be better, because I think we have got the players and we can be better. I just want to see it all together in one game. You know, I feel at some point someone's going to be the end of 5 or 6 goals, whether it's home or away.
Oxford nearly were, weren't they? But not,
they were. But I
remember a game here, Huddersfield. Was it last season or the season before? It was like 4-0 in the first 20-30 minutes of a game. I think that's the kind of thing that Dom's alluding to.
Just the fine details, I think, that we need to be... Like, defensively today, we know set pieces are going to be key again. We have improved at that. But again, That's so important as a defensive point of view for me. If I concede a set piece, I've always said I'm fuming myself. And, you know, we almost want to get fined for doing it. And I'm not saying the players should get fined for a set piece, but that's what Tony Pulis used to do to us at Stoke. You concede a set piece, you're going to get fined. And I'm not saying that because it's obviously a different era now. But what I'm saying is...
I'm all for that.
Yeah, but I just want us to be going out there with that confidence, but not arrogant. Yeah. You know, do the right things week in, week out, day in, day out. Every game, we should be like playing as a team, and we are. But I just think there's small little things we can work on to be where we want to be.
OK, well, how is this match going to pan out? Hull with a couple of wins in the last 4, definitely a couple of wins since the new manager's come in. Is this one going to be a Leeds win today, Bridgie?
Yes, it is. I didn't think we were going to concede against Blackburn. I said we'd have a win and a clean sheet. So I'm not going to go down that because it didn't work. I'm going to say it'll be 2-1 or 3-1 to Leeds United today. So
that's Bridgie just covering all bets there. You know, 2-1 or 3-1 or maybe 4-0 or 1-0. Dom, you're going to give us a specific one here, surely.
2-0 Leeds.
There you go. That's how you do. Come on, Bridgie.
2-0. There you go, right.
Honestly. OK, well, hopefully it's a Leeds win. We will find out. Let's head over to the MKM. It is Leeds United away at Hull City. Big 90 minutes coming up. Your commentary team today, as always, Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Thank you very much. You join us as the two teams appear from down below to a ovation from both sets of supporters. The Hull City fans who are here in good number today, despite their recent problems with form. And the Leeds United fans, of course, who've taken the opportunity, for those based in West Yorkshire at least, to jump in the car perhaps and make a 60-mile trip across to the east on the M62 to see a game where Leeds take on Hull City. Two sides are out there going through the pre-match ritual now with the high fives all round. Leeds United will be all in white for this fixture this afternoon, and Hull City will be in their traditional amber and black stripes, the Tigers. And the Hull City side, well, they have made a change there. Cody Drameh is one of those who's not in the starting 11, who started the last game for Hull City. The former Leeds man is on the bench today. But Hull do have a number of issues around injuries, so have struggled to put out what might be described as their strongest team for a while now. Leeds United side, well, a couple of injury issues in the Leeds team as well, with Pascal Struijk and Sam Byram not able to start. Byram is on the bench, but it means that Ethan Ampadu takes his place in the back line as the captain, and Max Wöber also to his left fills that position that he occupied from half-time onwards in the game against Blackburn Rovers. It has a strong look to it as a Leeds side, and there are options, of course, from the bench as well. And when you look at the respective sides' recent form, or not even recent form, when you look at their form so far this season, then this is one of those fixtures that carries with it an expectation of a return, a points return for Leeds United. A little bit more pressure has fallen on Leeds as a result of Burnley's impressive away win against their East Lancs rivals Blackburn Rovers already today. So the two teams are currently level on points at the top, and Leeds are in the #1 spot because of a better goal difference. So Burnley's excellent away form continues to keep them very much in the hunt, and I guess the job is for Leeds United to respond to that here on this cold and grey afternoon. There is snow, and perhaps heavy snow forecast for later, but that will be this evening, not this afternoon. And so here we have decent conditions for a game of football. The one thing that you would raise a question mark about is the condition of the pitch, because it's pretty bare in a number of areas. And when we were down at pitch level, as you may have seen earlier on, it was clear that it's not in the best shape currently, this one, not compared perhaps to other championship pitches that we've seen. Obviously, in comparison to the baseball ground 1975, it's an absolute snooker table, but times have changed. The game is underway. Leeds United kick off, and those Leeds fans in the far side corner of the ground, opposite side of the stadium from us, are already in fine voice here. Ball out for an early Leeds United throw-in. Alongside me, huddled up against the cold, hat very much on, is Tony Dorigo.
Yes, 5 layers Dorigo today. I have to say, you're right, it is nippy, but out there is where the hot stuff hopefully will be seen. And it'll be from the team in white. We really need to make a quick start as well. Hull at home, we know they're struggling, lacking in confidence. Well, let's ask a few more questions of them.
Hull keeper in very, very bright pink this afternoon as Leeds pick up the ball through Rodon in the Leeds half, and it goes back to Meslier, who's in pastel blue for his first touch. Who went off with a dead leg in the second half in the game against Blackburn, but has recovered in time to take his place in the starting 11 for this one, the final game of this crazy festive period of matches. And Leeds have found themselves on the road for 3 of the 4. Rodon with a header. Aaronson on the chest. Back to Bogle it goes. Puts the ball up into the Hull half. It's clear back. Tanaka's underneath it, but his pass goes straight through to the centre half, Alfie Jones. And then Coyle, the former Leeds man, the skipper, has the ball over on the far side. He's under pressure from Manor Solomon, who's forcing him back. Just touches it back to Jones, who gives it straight to Solomon to attack the penalty area. He stumbles on his way there, though. And in stumbling, loses possession of the ball. Hull come away with it. And it's moved out wide to their right-hand side. And the runners start to take a position up on the edge of the penalty area. Kamara can't make further progress, but he does see his side win a throw-in that's not far off level with the edge of the Leeds United penalty area. Ball is still in the hands of the full-back Coyle. And then it comes back into midfield, and it's pushed back to Jones on the halfway line, and he goes across the halfway line, and Dan James in really fast there on McLoughlin, and he actually took it off him, but he couldn't keep the ball in play, and he looks to the heavens afterwards, because if it had spun in a different direction, that ball, he was on his way.
Excellent closing down. We've seen that so many times, haven't we, from Dan James. So quick, so eager. Defenders think they have more time than they really have.
Piroe does his job of closing down against Jones, who's rather sent down an alleyway there, and he looks at his teammates and says, "You've got to help me out," because Piroe tracked him. Ultimately, the ball came off the foot of Piroe and went out for a throw-in, so he kind of got away with that one, the centre-half.
Yes, he did, but they do try and play their way out from the back, and we've seen many a team do that and get themselves into a bit of trouble, but if we can close them down well, we could get some joy.
Leeds free kick taken quickly for a foul on Ampadu, although too quickly for the referee, so he's brought the play back again. Hull with a different head coach to the game earlier in the season that Leeds won in August at Ellen Road. So Ruben Sellers has been lured here from Reading, where he had a heck of a tough job in terms of the finances around the club. So did well in very difficult circumstances, and now he's been brought to work his, if magic is the right word here at Hull, to do that. Hull concoct to clear the ball away from their penalty area in somewhat unconventional fashion there. It was a series of looping volleys that saw the ball finally sliced into touch.
Yeah, you can see they're trying to play their way out, but if you're going to make a mistake, make it long and out. Don't want to be giving us anything so early, but you can see how they want to play, but they got the players and the surface, I suppose, to make that work. Let's see.
Rodon in the centre circle for Leeds United, to the right-hand side to Bogle. James ahead of him, but the ball is played too far in front of Brendan Aaronson there. And possession is won back by Burstow for Hull City, who plays a good ball through the middle. And this is a real problem. It's lobbed over Meslier, and it's lobbed into the back of the net. And it was Kamara's straight run through the middle. And when Meslier came to meet him, he couldn't get there. And Kamara just lofted it over the Leeds keeper, and the home side have a very early lead here. Hull 1, Leeds 0.
Well, it's an excellent finish from Kamara, but what are we doing at the back? Why aren't we picking up? Kamara is in acres of space on that right-hand side. The ball was a good one as well, wasn't it? But when you have that much space, you really should be closing them down, not allowing the pass, but then just pick up your man instead. Max Wöber, not exactly sure where he was, but Kamara has the chance and he takes it well.
I can imagine Kamara could not believe his luck there. He was left all alone and he provided an excellent finish, but that was not a goal that the Leeds backline will relish looking back at in the aftermath.
No, absolutely not. Got to stay concentrated, got to stay switched on. We haven't been.
Ball has been given away again here, and it's Burstow for Hull down there, left-hand side. Rodon, man who misplaced the ball, and then Aaronson touches out of play for a Hull throw-in. And the home fans, who will have arrived with little expectation, I suspect, ahead of this fixture, are suddenly in a far happier frame of mind.
Now it's a home game as well, but I agree with you in that they would have been coming here thinking, oh, come on, can we really do this? I don't think we can, but you know what? Let's see how we go. Get the first goal, and now listen to the stadium. Let's see how their confidence is. We've got to put a lid on it quickly.
James for Leeds. Can't get the ball up to the edge of the penalty area. Bogle comes in to try and provide assistance, and then Piroe with a foot in, but it doesn't break until it comes down for Rodon on the halfway line. And then he kind of gets his foot wrong, and he'll end up briefly back with it before it's won back again by Bogle and then Tanaka. And then Piroe does a little too much with the ball and loses out. And Coyle on the edge of the Hull City penalty area gives it into Jones, and now it goes to the keeper. Pandur out to this left-hand side, and Hull have worked the ball forward well here. Great interception by Ampadu, breaks through the lines, carries the ball onto the edge of the penalty area, slid wide, great shot, oh, it's cleared off the line, comes back, Piroe into the side netting. And Leeds United cannot believe that the scoreline has not been quickly levelled. Solomon first, then Piroe, both kept out.
How have we not scored? It's been a great response. Ampadu, absolutely brilliant by stepping in front of his man. Just carried the ball and carried the ball. And I thought, OK, time to release it. And he did perfectly to that left-hand side, but we couldn't force it home.
Solomon with the ball just outside the penalty area. Rothwell's got to go back and retrieve. In fact, he lets it run ultimately to Aaronson, who plays it to Bogle, to this right side, and Tanaka. In field, it goes to Aaronson. Just about works it to Bogle, back to Tanaka. Into the middle of the park to Rothwell. Square pass to Ampadu. Back it goes to Rothwell again. Now Tanaka to his right. Further wide is Dan James, just in from the touchline. James trying to lure the defender into a challenge, puts a lovely ball up into the middle, heads go up, and it's just above the head of Mana Solomon coming in there. Wanted somebody slightly taller. That was the perfect cross.
Slightly taller, you mean anyone, apart from Solomon, but you're right. Brilliant cross. Piroe would have been better at that far stick, but Solomon tried to get there, but didn't quite make it.
Leeds still with possession in the whole half. Ampadu to Solomon, cuts it back in for Piroe. Turns a shot, maybe across goalwards, but it's cleared away. Loads of space for Leeds players in the and around the edge of the Hull penalty area down that left side there. They come down that side again, and again there's space for Solomon. Helps it on wide for the cross in from the far side, tucked in towards goal by Brendan Aaronson, and that easily could have been a goal as well for Leeds United. Didn't put much on it, but it rolled into the hands of the keeper.
Well, first thing to say is it's been a great response. It really has. There's 2 or 3 chances that we had, but now finishing just there. Excellent run down that left-hand side. Wöber fires it across. Aaronson is coming onto the ball, and any sort of decent contact, not even the best contact, would have had the keeper in trouble. Instead, it was awful. And it was just a boblet into the keeper's hands.
Rodon deals with a difficult ball. Hull win it back in the Leeds half. Rothwell comes in, Ampadu as well. He's caught late, and that will be a free kick for a foul on the captain, who's helped to his feet by his opponent. And the referee comes in for a word to check he's okay. But we are just past the 10th minute. We've had the whole goal, and we've seen 2/3 really presentable chances for Leeds United as well.
Yes, and we really should be back on level terms. Not quite sure how we're not, but keep doing the same thing, apart from, of course, keep concentrated at the back.
Possession is with Leeds, but it's with Ampadu on the edge of his own area. Back to Meslier, who just puts it up in the air.
Well, that's the pitch. Do you see that? It bobbled, you know, just in front of him. It really was unfortunate. Just at the wrong time, it jumps up.
And the ball goes out of play for a Hull City throw-in. Coyle has the ball. Takes his time before throwing down the line towards the byline. Ampadu's defending successfully. Clears the ball into touch over on this near side. Daniel Farker will field it in the technical area. Leeds manager pacing up and down, hands buried in pockets. Aaronson trying to get the ball back for Leeds in the Hull half. McLoughlin back to the goalkeeper. Pandur lets it run across his body, pushes it out to Jones, and then in field it goes to Alzate, and then the ball ends up in touch for a Hull City throw-in.
Yeah, once again, good closing down, but you can see how Hull like to play. Alzate this time the man to get his pass blocked.
Ball rolls into touch off João Pedro, and Leeds have the throw-in just inside the Hull half. It's thrown back into Joe Rodon and Tanaka. And now Ampadu walks it forward. Short ball to Rothwell. Rodon on the edge of the centre circle. Forward to Tanaka. Now Aaronson across the body. Plays it out to Dan James down the right, attacking the edge of the box now. Cross goes into the near post, takes a deflection on its way, and that helps the keeper out. Pandur is able then to get across to his near post and gather the ball into his body.
Yes, that deflection just took it to the keeper. A bit surprised he tried to cross it from there, Dan James, in that quick yard to the right, and then cross from a better position might have been better.
Hull work it up the left side touchline and cross the halfway line, with Puerta in possession, still allowed to continue, and then plays it square to Coyle, and now Coyle into the penalty area, and the ball is put into the path of Slater, and it comes off Rothwell and goes behind for a Hull City corner.
Just too many times with the wrong side of our men for some reason, always chasing back to try and get back goal side instead of being in a better position, seeing man and ball. Didn't do that for the goal, and it cost us.
Puerta makes the slow walk over to take up position in front of the travelling Leeds fans to take this corner kick. There are a line of Hull City shirts which now breaks in the penalty area as the ball is whipped in, headed away by Ampadu. Solomon will chase but won't get there, so it's picked up in the centre circle and delivered wide to the goal scorer, Kamara. To his left it goes to McLoughlin, and then Burstow down the line, can't get to it. Joe Rodon keeps him away from the ball, and it goes out for a Leeds United throw-in. Jaden Bogle prepares to take. Bogle trying to see what the best option is from this position. Up the line from the corner flag. Burstow stays in his way to make life awkward, and the referee tells him to retreat a little. I'm sure the ruling is there.
Didn't think so. He's on the pitch. He can just stand there, can't he?
Rodon can't defend the ball, and it's played into the middle where Ethan Ampadu has to just hook it clear of the penalty area. As João Pedro took it off Joe Rodon there. And Hull have the ball in an advanced position in the Leeds half still, with a throw-in. And it looks like it's going to be a long throw-in as well, because every player is up from the back or into that Leeds penalty area. João Pedro takes the full distance allowed to him before he hits a hoarding, and he's going to launch this into the Leeds penalty area from a position level with the edge of the box. Movement on the near post. The ball hurled in now. Heads go up in there, bouncing around on the edge. Aaronson can't quite get there. Back into the middle it goes, and then there's a free kick given for something in the penalty area there.
Push on Joe Rodon there.
Good wonder.
Yeah, just trying to push him underneath the ball while he didn't quite make the right contact that he wanted to.
So it would appear that Hull are more than prepared to enlist the use of the long thrower to try and cause some chaos in that Leeds penalty area.
Yeah, set pieces, corners, throws, anything just to get it in there and try and feed off scraps.
Leeds in possession in their own half, past the quarter-hour mark. Leeds trailing here to that early goal from Kamara. Meslier. Not too many options on, so Tanaka's into midfield to take it off him. Now Rothwell. He can play it where there is a bit of space to Wöber down the left. Wöber comes back for a pass to Ampadu. Square ball then to Rodon. Stops on the halfway line. Pushes it forward to Tanaka. On it goes to Aaronson. Goes to ground. No free kick. Hull come away with it. And the counter-attack is on for Hull City here. Played through the middle, but too far away from Kamara. Ampadu read it. Plays it quickly to Wöber. Nice first-time ball from Wöber. Gets Piroe away down the left-hand side. James is in the middle, but that's going to drop short of Dan James. But the clearance almost arrives back at the feet of Piroe. And it goes across him and out for a throw-in on that far side. Dan James was a long way from Joel Piroe there.
Yes, he was, but good play from Wöber. I like that when we do win the ball back. Sometimes we can be a bit slow getting it forward. That one was a nice, positive pass. That was a heavy touch, wasn't it, from Piroe?
Heavy touch, sees the ball go behind, and it's a goal kick. And so we'll have the chance just to take a little bit of the steam out the game here, and they're rolling it from one side of the 6-yard box to the
Already,
other.
18th minute, we've started.
Deciding where they actually want to take it from. Pandur, the keeper, out to Jones, just puts it forward. Wöber wins his header, but it goes out for a Hull City throw-in. 0-0 when the two teams met here last season. But Hull were in a far better position at that stage of the season than when Leeds arrive here this time around. On that basis, this is a shock scoreline currently. But it's the Championship.
Well, yeah, how shocking is it? But certainly their home form really has been poor, but we just got to up the tempo and keep it nice and quick, test them as often as we can.
Hull's notable win recently was away at Blackburn, but then in their last home game it was a 93rd minute goal from Middlesbrough that was the settler in that one. They have a throw-in up to the edge of the Leeds penalty area. The ball goes Pedro, and then flag is raised for offside, so that's a Leeds free kick.
Pedro clearly has got some ability, and the ball's around him. He keeps it up well, but not really got the pace to threaten over the top.
32 now, Pedro. He's had a distinguished career. Nice ball from Solomon to get Bogle going down the right. He pushes it on to Dan James. James can cut in, tucks it in. Well, he was looking for Bogle, but it was behind Bogle. So the intervention is made, and the clearance is made by Puerta.
Yeah, Puerta was tracking back, but he was a yard behind Bogle, so the ball just needed to be better.
Rothwell in the midfield for Leeds. Spreads it wide to Wöber down the left. Comes back into Rothwell. Tanaka stands alongside him. He's caught as he releases the ball. Game goes on. Ampadu in possession. 24,473 here today. So early call on the attendance. Leeds in possession in front of that crowd with Joe Rodon on the ball. Pushes it through Tanaka, lays it off for Aaronson. Piroe back into Tanaka, flicked up to the far side of the penalty area. And then half volley shot goalwards by Max Wöber. Well, some of the approach play was excellent there. The outcome, not quite so.
Well, excellent one-touch play, moving it in and around the whole players on the edge of the box. When it goes out to the left-hand side, just rushed his shot. Didn't quite get it out of his feet. Half volley was always going to be a difficult skill and couldn't hit the target.
Past the 20-minute mark here, and Leeds chasing. But there's work to be done for sure. Rodon from the back. Just about manages to keep it away from...
Yeah, I think just to talking to you, right, the touch from Rothwell wasn't a good one, bounced off him slightly. But I'm looking at this pitch and the way the boys are playing at the moment. They're just taking that extra half a second, aren't they, to look to make sure it's on their boots, make sure it hasn't bounced up. So it isn't the best surface, and we're just taking that extra bit of time.
Free kick is taken short. Ampadu then spreads it wide. James holds the ball, plays it into Bogle, who's on the overlap, who's in the penalty area. Bogle puts it in the middle, body's going down in there, and it's hacked clear. And it comes out the penalty area. Hull pick up the second ball, and then it's played through the middle, and that will be defended by Leeds. Another great ball in down the right-hand side from Jaden Bogle. Nobody could quite get on the end of it. And he comes again. Back into his own half to Rodon. Now Aaronson, rather Tanaka. Tanaka plays it wide to Mana Solomon. Chests it to keep it in play, just then gets it away. No, he doesn't, actually, because the flag is raised and the whistle has gone, and it went out of play.
Just thought when the ball was going out there, it was a bit of a bouncing bomb in that it went too high, didn't it, for Solomon to be able to keep it in.
So Hull City with a throw in midway inside their own half. Wöber puts the ball over the top. Piroe's not going to get there. McLaughlin's ahead of him. Back it goes to Pandur, the keeper. His clearance finds Pedro, but his ball is straight to Aaronson. He's tackled successfully quickly, though, and Hull come away with it. In the Leeds half, they have it now. Wöber holding his man up, manages just to put a foot in the way. Comes off Wöber and out for a Hull throw-in.
Well, initially it was an excellent challenge on Aaronson. Got all of the ball and off Hull go up the other end.
Ampadu on the edge wins it back for Leeds. Rothwell back to Ampadu. Just turns it wide to Wöber, who lifts it forward. It comes down for Tanaka. Tanaka looking forward, gives it to Solomon. Leeds have runners through the middle. Solomon taking it on to the edge of the penalty area. Cuts it back into the middle. Piroe is there. Well, Piroe is the man you wanted there, but he didn't get his shot right at all on that occasion. It bobbled away from goal, and an easy pick-up for the keeper.
Once again, he scuffed it, but they're waiting, just looking at the bounce, how it's going to run across the ground, and that one did just bounce up slightly, gets it all wrong. And of all the people, you're right, you'd like that sort of chance to go to, Piroe knowing makes an excellent contact with it. That wasn't.
Hull playing out from the back. Coyle long ball through the middle, and it works well. And as it drops, it's hooked into space down the Hull left. Burstow has it, brings the ball infield now into the edge of the penalty area. Ampadu with the header, only as far as Puerta, and then Tanaka goes in to try and win it back, but can't get it off his opponent Burstow. Hull in possession near side with a little touch infield, and then a link-up play sees the ball come to Burstow. Tries to play it down the channel. Well read by Joe Rodon to slide in and intercept. James was waiting for the ball to come from Bogle, and it came in too slowly. Just allowed the intervention from Jacob, and it got pushed behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, and those sort of passes where either James has to come towards the ball or a pass needs to be wrapped into him, so James has got options of what to do when he receives it.
25 minutes gone in the first half. It's Hull City 1, Leeds United 0. Goal kick is to Ampadu, and then Wöber swept forward for Piroe. To his left to Solomon, still in his own half. Solomon holding the ball away from Coyle, but he's fouled and gets a little frustrated. Has a go back at Coyle there. The whistle had already gone though for the Leeds free kick.
Yeah, someone's got to be careful what he's saying to the referee.
Don't be doing the waving the card thing.
No, exactly. I think the referee's saying, well, play to the whistle.
Bogle back into his own half to Rodon. Tanaka and Bogle again. Up the line, past Aaronson though, and cleared back into Leeds territory. Rodon goes to gather it. Plays it to Rothwell and back to Rodon. Rodon at walking pace to Rothwell. Now he sets off on a bit of a run, then goes back to Ampadu. To the left side to Wöber, back in field to Rothwell, and then it goes back to Meslier. Rodon's got a lot of space in front of him as Meslier puts it into his path. Now it comes wide right side to Bogle. Runners set off. Too far ahead of Dan James. McLoughlin's going to get there just ahead of him. See the pace of Dan James there, because it should have been a comfortable job for McLoughlin. And then suddenly James was in front of him, so he just played it into touch. Bogle will take the throw in for Leeds down by the corner flag. Piroe in the box, comes short for James, back to Bogle, back to James. Comes out of that crowded area to Rodon, into the middle to Ampadu, to his left to Rothwell, and back to Rodon again. Now Dan James just in from the touchline for Leeds. A line of Hull shirts in the box as James goes for the byline, cuts the ball back in. Comes off defenders in there, Piroe is battling. It's cleared away by Regan Slater, and it'll go out on the far side for a Leeds United throw in.
See, that's where I think when Dan James has someone facing him up like that, and his position isn't great, because it was Pedro, wasn't it? So always going to beat him down the line.
Leeds in the whole half with Rodon on the ball. Solomon waits wide, but it comes back for Ampadu. And then down the channel for Piroe to turn goalwards. Inside it goes to Aaronson. Couldn't quite work it, and as the ball just bounced away from him, it was clipped behind for a Leeds corner.
Oh, once again, you're just talking inches away. Pass from Piroe wasn't quite good enough, but Aaronson got in there. Wöber got in there behind as well, but just that final pass, that final finish, not quite coming, not yet.
Leeds corner. Rothwell will take it. Rothwell is told to just re-spot the ball. He moves it a fraction of an inch on the edge of the quadrant, and the referee then is happy. Comes in low. Tanaka's header, and it comes off a body and it goes behind. It's a Leeds body, it comes off, so it's a goal kick.
Not sure how much of a touch Tanaka got on it, but it cleared the first group. Unfortunately, clearly hit one of our boys and out for a goal kick.
Again, it's taken short from the left side of the 6-yard box to the centre and the keeper. And then touch is not a good one. Down the left-hand side from Burstow. Comes off him and out of play for a Leeds throw-in, right in front of Ruben Sellers. It was definitely prompted an improvement in Hull City results. Had a couple of wins recently when they'd had a long wait for any sort of success this season. Ampadu at the back for Leeds. Goes left to Wöber, who nods it down the line into the path of Manor Solomon. Brings it in field. Solomon has players on the edge of the penalty area. He's put it too far, and it's beyond Aaronson in the middle, and it's too short of Dan James further wide, and so the keeper can easily come and collect that one.
Well, that was almost a really good ball. Aaronson made the run. It's just evaded him at the end of its flight.
Ampadu with a foot in from the halfway line, but it's beyond Bogle and out for a Hull throw-in. Pulled back in their own half with this throw from the near side. Referee just motions for a bit more haste with the taking of the throw. Straight onto the head of Bogle it comes. Aaronson can't get there. Slater comes out wide, stays in play, does it? No, it's a Leeds throw in. Pedro couldn't keep it in play. Ampadu wearing the gloves. Spots a run, but it's well short of Dan James, that one. I think he was the intended recipient.
He was, but you can give it a bit of air, can't you, over the back, because James is so quick. That was a poor pass.
Puerta down the left for Hull, gets across into the near post. This should be a number 2. Oh, he's hit the post. Hit the foot of the post. Follow-up comes in and it's wide. Well, that ball found its way all across the penalty area. And the man arriving at the far post should really have turned that in. But the shot came off the foot of the post and Leeds then saw the follow-up effort go wide.
Hey, my goodness. Excellent ball from this left-hand side across, but once again found wanting at the back. That probably could have and should have been 2-0.
Leeds are causing problems to themselves at the back here, then break with the ball. James can't get forward with it. Bogle on this right-hand side for Leeds. He couldn't keep the ball in play. And the ball goes out for a throw-in, and then Hull's coach is furious about something that's happened in there. And the fourth official has had to step in to calm him down. I think the suggestion of an elbow being used somewhere.
For me, Bogle was just trying to get back on the pitch and get the manager or coach out the way.
James wins it for Leeds, turns it into Aaronson, caught, and that will be a free kick on the halfway line for Leeds United. And they won't be allowed to take it from where Piroe was trying to take it. It's too far forward. So Leeds, collective sigh of relief there, because as that ball went to the far post, you could see what was going to happen, you could see what was likely to happen, and it didn't.
Phew.
Yeah.
Because, my goodness, 2-0, that would suddenly make things extremely difficult.
Header to the edge of the area to Piroe. Plays it back for Rothwell. Rothwell comes back a little way to Ampadu. Back it goes to Rothwell again. Couldn't find Solomon down the left. It was blocked off before it got to him. So it's a Leeds throw-in. But they're back in their own half again here.
And I still feel there's goals in it for us in this game for sure, but you have to take the chances. We've had some really good ones so far, haven't been able to. So just got to keep that kind of confidence going in that we can make chances, keep playing, we'll find opportunities.
And a foul on Aaronson, this time just inside his own half, just in from the touchline. Jacob was the man who committed the foul. Rothwell to Ampadu. Forward to Solomon. Turns and moves it on to Wöber. Comes back for Solomon. Closed down now down that left side. Wriggles forward. Still going towards the byline. Suddenly the door is closed by Coyle. Out it goes for a throw-in.
Good play from Solomon. He was second best a couple of times there, but still managed to keep hold of it.
Leeds taking it further back up the line than was necessary there. Thrown into the box beyond Piroe and cleared away. Ampadu's header into Rothwell. Now Tanaka takes it back for Rodon. Good ball out to the left to Wöber. Inside it comes across the chest of Solomon. Solomon almost got away in the penalty area, and then the ball bobbles up and away from him and into the hands of the keeper.
Well, another good move down the left-hand side. Not sure if the ball across was for Piroe. Thought it might have been for Solomon, who then just turned and went into the box. He got the ball off Piroe, but lucky ricochet at the end, didn't go our way.
10 minutes to go in the first half. Leeds trail by a goal to nil. Ampadu and James. Home fans having a bit of fun with the fact that some of the Leeds fans were calling for a handball in that last attack. Jacob with a throw-in for the home team. Matthew Jacob just offering instructions to teammates before he delivers down the line. Flicked on by James back into his own half, where Ampadu waits and goes all the way back to Meslier. Short ball forward to Tanaka. He has Wöber to his left. And Rothwell to his right, who has the ball now. James waits on this near side, but Rodon is the recipient of the pass. And then Ampadu. Not really the ball required, but then I don't think he wanted it in that area either. So now it's Hull coming forward, and Ampadu has to step in to prevent Kamara making further progress down the far touchline.
Yes, our pass at the back there, just a little short, not as precise as we would like.
So it's going to be the long throw again here. And on that far side this time from Puerta. Everybody heads for the penalty area. Puerta can take a longer run up from that far side. In it comes again. Heads up. Missed actually in there. And João Pedro is underneath it, waiting, trying to get it to come down. And then the shot is driven in from just outside the penalty area from Jacob. And it flashed wide of Meslier's left-hand post. I'm not sure he'd have got there.
Well, that was a rocket, wasn't it? The strike was superb from Jacob. Hull City left back, and you're right, Meslier just rooted to the spot. Whether he thought it was going wide or not, I'm not sure he was getting there either way.
Wöber for Leeds. Spreads it wide to the right side, and Dan James. Plenty of white shirts forward, but James is caught in possession. Dragged back, all fairly by Burstow. Burstow then, terrible attempt at a forward pass.
Well, that's how the goal came, wasn't it? Burstow over to Kamara that time. It didn't happen, but Wöber again was caught up the pitch because we were on the attack.
Solomon goes into the penalty area to Aaronson, cuts it back into the middle, and it's behind everybody. James was arriving there. It was a tap-in if anybody had got to that. They didn't. And now Hull are counter-attacking themselves. And the free kick is awarded for the challenge by Max Wöber. This is becoming a bit of a crazy game.
It is, and the problem is we have to take these chances when we get into those sort of positions. We have to put them in the back of the net. That's 3 or 4 now in this first half. Hull have had 2, they've stuck one away. One's hit the post. We need to do better with ours.
Well, that was just pushed into an area in the middle of goal, and Leeds had a couple in there. Nobody could get on the end of it to literally just tap in. So now Leeds are defending a free kick at the other end. With a line of white shirts interspersed with amber and black just outside the Leeds penalty area. Rodon can't get there with the head, but it's come off a Hull shirt and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And Leeds are keen to get on with it. Ampadu jogs the ball forward and then gives it to Rodon to his right. Rodon stops and then ups the pace a little and goes left to Wöber. Infield behind Piroe, taken away from him by McLoughlin. And has a break on, well, not a break as such, the counter-attack was on. Ampadu's caught as he goes in for a challenge there, stays down. Leeds with the ball with Bogle, carrying it forward. Goes down the line for James. James comes infield, gives it back to Bogle. Ampadu's back up. Bogle manages to work it somehow to Aaronson, and then he's in the penalty area. He's going for the byline, in towards the near post, and it comes off the shins of the keeper and goes behind for a corner.
Well, good play from Bogle. I'm not sure what option he had once he took that extra touch. He kind of looked up and no one was really in their position. Piroe was there, Solomon was there, but decided to try and smuggle it into the near post. Never really going to get past the keeper there, but corner kick.
Well, Leeds players are getting into great positions to left and right of goal, cutting balls back from the byline. Nobody there to stick them in just at the moment. Corner now for Leeds, taken by Rothwell. Into the box, headed clear, quite away clear, so Aaronson has to sprint back to collect. Comes back for Bogle. Now Aaronson to his left. Brendan Aaronson checks back and gives it to Ethan Ampadu. Short ball from Ampadu to Rodon inside the final 5 minutes of this first half. Rodon to his left to Aaronson. Looks towards the edge of the penalty area. Curls it into the box low. Breaks for a shot from Wöber. Can't keep it down though. He was leaning back, falling back indeed as he hit it, and up and over the crossbar it went.
Yes, and the cross wasn't a great one from Aaronson either. A bit low, and Wöber back to goal. I'm not sure that's his best position or the player you'd want to have in that position, but we have had chances, or we're getting into really good areas, but just not finding that final pass.
The goal kick goes into the Leeds half. Tanaka wins a header. Solomon. And then the ref has stopped play because there's a head injury. Challenge with Tanaka, and his opponent is still down.
I'm going to check with Ampadu. Obviously, Ampadu's gone down a couple of times after some poor challenges, but the referee is having none of it.
So the ball will be dropped in for uncontested drop ball. Leeds were in possession when the whistle went. Rothwell to Ampadu. Now Rodon. Bogle. Tried to play it through the gap for James, but it was easily read. James comes back in, and then suddenly it's picked up by Aaronson. His touch is a little unfortunate, a little heavy there, and then a nice turn away from James by Alzate. And suddenly Hull are on their way forwards here, and it's played straight through the middle where Ampadu waits. Quickly back in it goes to Aaronson, and then the flag is raised for an offside. Aaronson coming back from an offside position to claim the ball.
Maybe if it does open up a little bit more like that, we can intercept and have less Hull City defenders in front of us, but we know Daniel Farke doesn't like to play that sort of game until later in the game.
Header away from the edge of the area by Rodon. James keeps it in play. Aaronson lets it roll behind. Piroe waits. Tanaka looping header forward. Aaronson, he's fouled there. A little unfortunately, I have to say, because there was a little lean into his opponent, but I'm not sure how much he put on him there. Free kick is given frustratingly against Aaronson, as he thought he was on his way forwards. Oh, obviously delighted, because there are less than 2 minutes of this first half remaining now, and they have the lead here.
Yes, they have the lead. Of course, that will make their confidence grow.
Played forward into Leeds half. Puerta. Tanaka just kicks it into touch, so it's a Hull throw in. Mid-position in the Leeds half, or maybe a little further forward than that, so there's a suspicion that this could be a long throw again. The referee is just signalling for the play to be hurried up a little. Hull have it by the corner flag, clipped into the penalty area. Tanaka heads it away, straight to Slater, and then a little back heel for Puerta, and Bogle makes a challenge, and it comes out for Burstow, and Burstow into the penalty area, and then still going, and it's still alive in that penalty box, and the shot is not a bad one ultimately from Alzate. Some great footwork in there to keep it away from 2-3 Leeds players coming in to challenge him. Ultimately couldn't get his shot on target.
Yes, great dribbling skill, wasn't it, from Alzate? And we had to be very careful when we do make a challenge inside that box that we get the ball. If not, you just about pull out. Hence why we managed to slalom one or two of those challenges.
Yeah, it was a risky area for Leeds to be making challenges in. They kept out of them, and ultimately Alzate didn't get it on target. And then Wöber can't play a successful ball forward to Mana Solomon. So we move into the final few seconds of this first half, with Hull having a throw-in in their own half, and just one added minute to come once we've passed the 45, which we do now. So it looks like Hull will be heading in at half-time with the advantage in this game. Leeds still maybe have a bit more to defending to do, as Rodon heads it to Ampadu, gives it back to Rodon, who's under a bit of pressure, and he's pushed to the ground, which will at least relieve the pressure. He takes a quick free kick to Wöber. It will need to be quick. There are 30 seconds remaining. Piroe wide to Solomon, just stretches to keep the ball in play. Solomon jinks in field, still going. There are runners. Got to pick the pass out to James down the right for Leeds. Comes into the middle to Tanaka. It's got to be quick as Piroe comes out to pick it up just outside the box. Comes back in for Rothwell a little further behind him. And then Rothwell to Ampadu. Hull happy just to get everybody back behind the ball as it goes out wide to Wöber. Wöber goes down the line to Solomon. Solomon can't get there. That goes behind. There'll be a goal kick, and that is the last action of the first half. A first half that has not gone the way we were anticipating. Hull City taking an early lead, and after that, Leeds have created good moments but haven't found an equaliser, and the best chance has come the way of the home side, who hit the foot of the post when they should surely have scored.
Well, 1-0 down. Damage could have been even worse, couldn't it? Yet we did have plenty of chances, got in some really good areas, just couldn't find the right finish. Yes, the pitch has played its part, but we should be certainly producing better finishes than that. But Hull City, the home side, well, they're full of confidence now. They're 1-0 up. We've got to keep that pressure going. We have to raise our game. We have to concentrate at the back. And, of course, we have to be better going forward.
There you go, that's the message in a nutshell. So Leeds head off, Hull head off, half-time scoreline, Hull City 1, Leeds United 0.
Well, the game's really heating up now. Keeping that energy flowing. Talk about control. Constant, steady performance, no matter the weather. Lovely charge forward there. That was smart play.
Something magical is living in my house. If I spill or make a mess, the next moment it's magically gone. I never see them, but they get everywhere. Is it fairies or mini little people? Is it you? Everything is so sparkly, sparkly. Mummy says try not to make too much mess, so we don't scare them away.
No magic, no spells, just astonish.
Escape to a land where it's no work and all play. There's no such thing as speed limits. Where wild animals roam. And around every corner is a new adventure. Where you live amongst nature and giant rabbits come and say hello. Escape to Flamingo Land. Book your day pass online at flamingoland.co.uk.
Oh, new TV?
Yeah, it's the new Hisense Mini LED.
Should have asked me what to get. We've got a 65-inch with Mini LED, but you've got to be paying at least $2,000 for that.
Actually, this one has all those features and more, and we didn't pay anything like that. Looks great, doesn't it?
OK, then Leeds 1 down at the break at Hull. 45 minutes to turn this one around at the MKM. Let's get the thoughts of our esteemed ex-Leeds United players, Don Matteo and Michael Bridges. Bridges, let me start with you. Pick the bones out of that. It's been a pretty frantic 45 minutes, really, hasn't it?
I said Hull were going to play a lot more possession than we saw against Blackburn. They've shown that. They're pressing very well. They get numbers forward. And they've created some very, very good chances. Now, I said what it would do. That would play into our hands because what it does, it means that they're spread on the field. When we win it, we are going to get chances. We've had a lot of chances, but what we haven't done, we haven't been clinical when the chances have come, whether it's been the final decision across the ball, the final decision trying to get a shot away on target. So there's positives to take out of that on a side that the coach will be delighted that we've got in the final third, created big chances. The downside is we haven't scored, and the goal that we've conceded as a defensive team, the way we switched off, me and Dom were analysing it, we'll have a look at it. The two centre-halves and Max Wöber, but Meslier, for me, is being caught in no man's land. So it could have been prevented, but to think that we were that open is very disappointing. So I think Hull have shocked the lads on the field because they've come out and had a really good goal.
Yeah, and it's a player for Hull as well. We'll take a look at the goal. Abu Kamara has been in the press conference this week. He had to apologise to the fans for putting a smiley face on another team's Instagram post after Hull lost last week. Yet the manager's put faith in him, and he's gone and delivered the goods. Talk us through the goal, Dom.
Yeah, I mean, can we get a bit tighter? Can Ampadu get a bit tighter? Maybe, but then it's a great ball in. To be fair, Wöber's been, he's ball watching for me. Yeah. Both the centre halves are probably a bit further forward than what they should be in positions where they've exploited it. The keeper, in my opinion, he's just caught in no man's land. And for me, you just go back and protect what you've got and make it more difficult, because as the ball comes in here, he's only got one thing he can really do, is shoot and lift it over. And it's a nice touch.
As a striker, seeing the goalkeeper come out like that in this situation, what he does, he makes my mind up for me. It makes it easy, because I know he can't handle it, he's getting sent off, so I've got to try and get some height on the ball over the top of him. I know he's in no man's land. If he fouls me, he's getting done. So what he basically does, as long as you hit the target there, you're getting a goal. And like Dom said there, Max Wöber caught out position, trying to cover because the whole defence shuffled. It could have been avoided in several moments, but still a very good finish.
I think as well, I have seen that feeling before. He has made that indecisive move on quite a few occasions, and that's something we've got to look at as well, because, like you say, it's just giving him another opportunity. If he drops back,
I've got to take a touch.
Yeah, take a touch, and it gives other people a chance to get back, because we've got a bit of pace as well, players running back. But I think all over the place, that was a bad goal to concede, especially early on.
Yeah, just around 5 minutes into the game. It's kind of the opposite what you want to do in an away game, isn't it? Go quieten the crowd down and then take it from there. But in terms of the Leeds response, Bridget, they have created plenty of opportunities. It just hasn't been that final touch or the finish or the moment or connection with the ball sometimes. But it does look like, when you take a look at the chances that we've created, that there will be opportunities coming the second half.
And they're big chances, and they're good chances inside the opposition's penalty box. Here you see the Solomon chance. It's a 4v2. That's got to be taken advantage of. The one thing that is there's a lot of stats that we are leading in this season. The stat that I don't like is big chances created without the conversion rate. The lack of conversion rate is not good enough for the chances that we are creating. And I come back to this moment. I said that we'd have a lot of chances created by the wingers in the wide areas. You see this, it's a lovely ball in. Now I'm expecting Aaronson, he's got to judge that better and get him, I'd say, put your laces through it. And this is just a half-hearted effort from Max Wöber there. Look at the amount of bodies. 1, 2, 3. There's 7 Leeds players inside that final third of the whole defence area. That's good, but we've got to be clinical.
But did you think, as a striker, are we trying to are we being a bit too precise when we get in them areas? Why don't we just put our foot through things?
Yeah, exactly,
you're a striker. I'm a defender. So for me, I'd be saying to my strikers, "What's up with you?
Still looking for the perfect goal."
Yeah, that's it. We're always trying to get that. But it's the Championship. That's never going to happen for me.
This chance here, you alluded to before the game. Do we go with Joel Piroe? Is it Mateo Joseph? We saw Mateo Joseph's goal against Hull early on in the season when he got across the near post there. Yeah. Dan James made a lovely run there in behind the defender, but I see Joel Piroe, he's made the wrong run. So Aaronson's just looking for him to be in front of the goalkeeper for a tap-in. So it's them decision-making moments at the right end of the field that we've got to get better second half, because the chances are there. I'd be sitting here really upset if there was no chances that we've shown from Leeds, because then you're going, where are we going to break them down? Hull will give you chances as they do. We've seen that.
And in terms of the opposition, as well today. You know, and credit to them, considering their position in the league, and we know the difficulties they've had in scoring goals and keeping clean sheets. They've created some moments for themselves, not just the goal, but some really, you talk about big chances, they've created.
Well,
they should be 2 up, really, shouldn't they? Let's take a look, because there was this moment where Hull managed to get themselves in a position that really should be converted here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's poor defending again for me. The guy's got across the front post, which we haven't been doing. By the way, Bridge should tell you that that's got to be in the back of net. We're lucky to get away with that. Again, defensively, did we get tight enough? Not really. And the ball comes into the right area. Yeah, it should be a goal. We got fortunate there, and obviously the guy pings it over there. But listen, it's just another ball right across the face where, like you say, we should be doing that, and we need a player to go and tap it in. That's what we're missing.
Yeah, and it's after seeing that chance and how they should be 2-0 up again, it's another positive you can take. It makes the manager and the staff's half-time team talk a lot easier, knowing it's only 1-0, than going in with that goal at 2-0. But again, like Don was saying there, it all comes from the whole players. That striker that got across Meslier in the near post area, causes the confusion. And then that goal, that opportunity there was very similar to the goal that we conceded against Blackburn, where we all just seem to ball watch. Nobody's going to close down the shot and the defence. It falls to them, and thankfully it goes. You saw Meslier. Meslier was static. He just saw the ball go past his post. So all in all, not a great half for the result, but a lot of good opportunities to take out the first half for Leeds.
And the fact that Hull are trying to create those opportunities. How many times have we sat here this season and we've said, oh, teams in a low block, they're not trying to create anything, they're not trying to score a goal really, they're just trying to stop us. Actually, the positive potentially going into the second half is more of that, take the chances, and Leeds will get back in this game.
That's why I said before the game that this whole team, the way they play, will suit us for the chances. Yeah. And it has, because we've created them. But again, moment of madness in the defence and not taking your opportunities. But the positive side is the second half there will be more chances. Yeah,
I think you're bang on, Bridgie. I think the one thing again that defensively, because I think, what's the word without sounding, it's like we've got so much quality in our defence as well, but you need to still be defending properly and efficiently. I just feel like we're just not quite at that, and I'm disappointed about that, because obviously that's something I prided myself as a defender. But these are little things that we have to get right into, especially in the away games.
You were worried about before the game.
I was just because the concentration levels. I know that when you're playing with certain players, if the concentration levels aren't right, this is what happens. And I think we started the game in that way.
Everybody's talking about our away form being so bad this season until obviously the Stoke and the Derby wins back to back. It wasn't the performances that were, because I mean we're still ranked second for the best team, in away results. It was the manner we were conceding the first goals away from home and haven't either get ourselves back to getting the point or coming from behind to win. Again, we find ourselves in this predicament. Now, we've found a way out of it in several moments this season. We've got players that can change the game, and we've got players that are dying to get on. And that's why I think these players that we're seeing here now in the warm-up, they're going to play a massive part in the second half, coming on to influence this game and put the ball in the back of the net.
They'll need plenty of notice. Just taking the layers off is going to take a good few minutes on the sideline there. Just give them at least 5 minutes notice if you want them coming on. But the thing we've seen as well with those players that have impacted is that they've made impact from the bench as well, Dom. That's the thing, the quality that is there.
Yeah, there is some positive. Like you say, we have got them players that can create and make things happen. It's just the final touch, putting it in the back of the net, and that's the biggest thing. The hardest thing to do, Bridgie will tell you, the hardest thing to do is put the ball in the back of the net. And when
I didn't find it hard.
Well,
yes, I did.
Yeah. No, I think everyone does.
I'm just opening a can of worms here.
I generally, we've got such a depth of squad. But I just think you want people just to tap in. Yeah. You want them players who are going to get 10, 15 goals in, just little tap-ins. We don't seem to get that. Every goal we have to manufacture ourselves, or someone has to do a bit, take a few people on and get a cross in. Sometimes just need them tap-ins more often. We have to work so hard to get our goals, and with the quality we have, I don't think that should be right.
Matteo Joseph would have seen them chances in the first half on the bench thinking, whoa, there's going to be chances second half, and he's going to be switched on, ready to get an opportunity in the second half.
Dom, mainly furious after 5 minutes conceding, because that was your clean sheet prediction out the window. You said 2-1 or 3-1 or any score.
Any score with an opposition goal.
Confident Leeds can turn this around in the second half. I'm guessing from what you're saying, you are. What's Daniel Farke saying to them before they go back out there for the second half?
Well, like I was saying, they'll be shown 3 clips of the positive sides of Leeds United in the first half, the chances created, how we got in that area of the field, who was involved in the situation, where can we do better. And again, then defensive side of it, they'll be showing the chances that we've just seen that have been against us, the goal, that can be preventable, and the other opportunities in the wide areas that where they hit the post. So, and you've got to sell that product to show where we can do better and where at both ends of the field. So that's in the positive spin that Fart will be saying as lads, look how many chances we have created. We've got to be clinical. I can't put the ball in the back of the net for you. You've got to go and do it.
I think away from home, though, personally, I think that the two full-backs don't always need to bomb forward.
Yeah.
I don't, because we are away. Protect what you've got at times, because we have got the quality to make it. I think sometimes we're too eager to get forward, and that sometimes costs us a lot.
Well, here come the players ready for the second half. Can Leeds turn this round and get some points on the road at the MKM? Let's find out. Over to your commentary team, Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Two sides are out, and Leeds United will start the second half as they ended the first half, as will Hull City. No changes. Changes required from Leeds' perspective, though, very much so, with the scoreline reading Hull 1, Leeds United 0. Earlier in the day, Burnley having won at Blackburn. Significant result. Moves them level on points with Leeds, and that remains the situation currently. So there is much riding on this second half. Elsewhere, Sheffield United drawing. Referee gives the signal. Second half is underway. And Hull City it is who get it underway. Ball is played up into the Leeds half. Wöber is in there defending. Holds his man away from the ball and allows it to run behind for a goal kick. Meslier short to Rodon. To his right to Bogle. Up the line flicked on by Dan James. And then just cleared up into the evening air. And then it drops and Tanaka's underneath it. Lofts it forward for Aaronson. Aaronson moving forward for Leeds. Wöber manages to push it into the path of Manor Solomon. Back in field to Rothwell. Rothwell to Aaronson. Goes back to Ampadu. And then Rothwell to this left side. There's space for Solomon just outside the penalty area. On his right foot, gives it to Tanaka. Tanaka shoots! How about that? For your first goal for Leeds United. Absolutely brilliant from Tanaka. Looked up, picked his spot, found it. Superb goal for 1-1.
What a response. Straight after the half-time team talk, no doubt. A few of the boys, their ears would have been ringing. Well, they listened. And Tanaka has produced a stunner. Just gets it out of his feet. And I thought, well, go on, give it a go. And he certainly did. He rifled it into the back of the net. Brilliant goal from Tanaka.
Just the start to this half Leeds United wanted. Now Tanaka with a moment of brilliance to level things up. And the Japan flag has been flying in the away end, and no wonder. Just hope his parents are still around to see that one. They've been over for the last couple of matches. That was some strike.
Oh, it certainly was. And I think our midfield in, well, certainly last year, you're hoping that you're going to get some goals from that area of the pitch. We didn't. It took a heck of a long time to finally see Gruev get one in the playoffs. But there, Tanaka, he's been inching forward each game. He's had a shot or two, but that one was absolutely superb. Have a few more, mate. Have a few more.
Well, it's a very fair point that it's that rarest of things, a goal from a central midfielder for Leeds. Gruev's free kick last season. Now suddenly Hull have their chance themselves, and shot in low that is dealt with by Meslier, coming in from just outside the penalty area. And Hull remind Leeds that there is far more work to be done yet.
How many times is it that when you score a goal, that concentration level, it's got to ramp up, not relax?
Tackle by Wöber on Coyle, but it's a throw into Hull City. Goes forward to Kamara. He loses possession. Ampadu over the head of James, so it's picked up over on the far side of the half, and then helped back all the way back to Pandur, the keeper. Turns a rather scruffy pass out to the centre-half. And his ball, in turn, is not very good either. And from Jones's foot, it goes out to play for a Leeds throw-in.
I think it's really important that we struck back nice and early. You can just see there just the little bit of suddenly doubt in the Hull City players, and we've got to put a bit more in there.
Wöber with the throw-in to Tanaka. And it'll break kindly for Aaronson, who's getting away. Solomon right on his shoulder, but Aaronson takes control of the situation. Low ball in! Well met by Dan James. Just could not turn the ball inside that far post. And it comes off his toes and goes behind for a goal kick.
Wonderful play, it really was, down this left-hand side. Solomon does the right thing and allows Aaronson just to carry on. He looked up and James was flying on the far side. He knew he was going to get there first, just put it into that danger area. He did, and the touch from James, just not quite enough to steer it in the bottom corner.
Ampadu's good header, flicked on now for Piroe. It'll come back for Piroe. 10 yards outside the whole box. Play back for Tanaka. Tanaka to Mana Solomon. Solomon controls and turns one way and then the other. To Rothwell, to Ampadu. Leeds are midway inside the whole half with Rodon pushing the ball out to his right to Bogle. Bogle coming in field now for Leeds. Into the edge of the area. Little touch comes back into the path of Dan James. Tries to shoot, and as he does try it, the ball is taken away from him, pushed behind for a Leeds corner.
Well, this is how we should have started the game, shouldn't we? Instead, it's taken us 45 minutes to wake up, but back on level terms now and trying to get the next goal.
Corner taken short. Ball is played in by Solomon, deep. Rodon trying to get up to it. They'll be hacked clear, and it is. Up in the air, Bogle's underneath it. Bogle, he volleys it out to the right side. I think that was intentional from
Let's go with that.
Bogle.
Let's go with it's intentional.
To Solomon, who skipped past a couple of challenges. And Solomon is on the edge of the area, lets it run for James. James goes back to Bogle and on to Solomon again. Comes back in for Dan James. Players are waiting in the middle. He's played down the lines for Aaronson to try and cut back into the middle. Can't quite get enough on it. It's cleared away. Leeds really threatening down that right side on numerous occasions then. They have the ball back in their own half with Ampadu now. Tanaka. Tanaka into the centre circle to Rodon. Rodon works it wide to Bogle, who's all alone on the touchline. Moves forward. Helps it on to James. James. Not sure what Dan James was trying there, trying to whip the ball into the middle, but not way too much on it. It sails behind.
Yes, he certainly was trying to just put it in early. Different game this second half. Pushing Hull City back, having plenty of possession. And more importantly, when Hull do get it back, they're giving it away pretty cheaply. Our closing down is good. They're dropping deeper. Got to keep that pressure on now.
Ball is towards the halfway line. It's played up and into the Leeds half. Ampadu goes in to try and win it, as does Rodon. Neither quite succeeds, and Hull emerge with possession with Pedro, and now Slater's on it and moving forward with some menace. Goes out to the left side of the penalty area. Shot comes in and again bounces up nicely into the hands of Meslier there.
It was nice that that ball actually bounced a good 10 yards in front of Meslier, allowing him to see it all the way.
Real open game at the moment.
It is.
As it comes out to Solomon down this near side. Wöber's gone over his shoulder. Wöber gets it now and he'll try and cross it, but it's cleared away and behind by Coyle. So Leeds have another corner kick here.
Nice. We seem to be getting into those areas quite easily.
Rothwell's come to take it. Rothwell steps away from the ball. Prepares to swing it in. And it comes across the area. Oh, right across the edge of the 6-yard box it went. When it pops up on the far side, Coyle was there. Only trying to clear it forward. Sliding intervention from Tanaka of all people. Comes off his body and goes out for a throw-in into the midst of those travelling Leeds fans.
Always frustrating when you see a corner kick go all the way across and bounce in the 18-yard box. You think, well, surely someone could have got on the end of that, but so many bodies in the way.
Hull City throw in. Down the line it goes with some distance on it. Leeds head wins it, and then Aaronson. Bogle picks up a loose ball. trying to skip past people there, but stopped in his path and full of switched the play from the left side right out to this near side touchline. Good challenge coming in from Wöber. Not a great ball though, ultimately to Solomon, and now Coyle attacking through the middle. And the space just out for Puerta. It's tucked onto the edge of the area and the shot is dragged wide. Well, it was in slow motion then, because Puerta suddenly, when he looked forward, could not believe how much time he had just outside the area.
Yes, he ended up playing the ball to João Pedro, didn't he? And you're right, I thought with that amount of time he was going to strike at goal, but he put it across. Bogle just threw himself in the way. He got collected by João Pedro on the way through, but the ball deflected wide.
So Hull corner kick at the other end now. Leeds with the defending to do here. 55th minute, all square. Leeds under pressure. In it comes. Heads go up, bounces around, goes behind, another corner. So touch was off a white shirt somewhere in there. Leeds have to stay in position.
They do, and really switched on and win this ball when it comes in.
So another anxious moment for Leeds United. Curled in, headed away by Ampadu. It goes back towards the halfway line where Slater has it. Slater delivers it well wide to the edge of the, well, I said well wide, but recipient of the pass was actually in an offside position, so Leeds end up with a free kick, which they've taken. And Ampadu now is the man in possession of the ball. Ampadu will just roll it back to Joe Rodon. Rodon through the middle for Leeds. I'm not sure that's going to work for Max Wöber. Overly ambitious ball from Joe Rodon, but maybe he would argue he didn't have an awful lot on there. And it goes straight into touch, and it's a Hull City throw in.
Just now got to get back to getting on the ball and controlling the game. Right, this is a good chance to get a few passes together.
Rodon gives it back to Meslier. Comes for the return ball from the goalkeeper. Now Ampadu. Wöber down the left. Puts the ball into Piroe. First time ball over the top for Solomon. He's got away from the fullback. Solomon's on the edge of the area. And then it comes off the Leeds player. Final touch off Solomon and behind for what turns out to be a goal kick, much to his disappointment.
Correct decision though. Solomon, I think, was waiting. He looked up. James was this time quite a way outside the box, so no point putting it in first time. Just tried to buy himself some time, but Coyle makes a good challenge, and it did go out for a goal kick.
Taken short. Rothwell trying to put pressure on the man in possession just outside the area. Jones gets it forward. Ampadu comes in with a header in field. Tanaka swings a boot at it. Falls kindly for Aaronson, but he can't work it. And suddenly it's space through the middle for Hull City to step into. And they have it down the left-hand side now. Ball comes in field from Burstow. And then pushed back to him down that left. Plays it into the middle. A lot of space just outside the penalty area. Played in for Kamara. Second ball is just carried away by Slater. And then back into Kamara. Loads of space in the middle for the shot. Curls it goalwards. Took a deflection off a Leeds player on its way. And goes behind for a corner.
Well, that was an excellent challenge. Ampadu needed to get a touch on it as well. Kamara, who scored the Hull City goal, this time had another go with his left foot, trying to find that bottom corner.
So yet another corner that Leeds have to defend here. Meslier in the midst of the crowd, arms raised. It's going to be an in-swinger. Whipped in, heads up in there, Meslier punches it as far as the edge of the box. Kamara, half volley, just spoons it up in the air. Still alive in the penalty area. Meslier will come and gather this one. And it'll be a goal kick. He's let it bounce beyond the line. Some anxious moments for Leeds defensively there, right the way through the piece.
There is, and those corner kicks are vicious, aren't they, on that far side. It's Puerta that is really putting plenty of pace and power and dip into it.
Rodon plays it out to Bogle on the touchline. Up the line it goes to Tanaka. court foul, and so he just let it roll across his body before João Pedro got there. Taken quickly and cleverly to Aaronson. Now then, James down the right-hand side. He's got to keep the ball in play. She does. Now he can look towards the penalty area. Coming in towards the box, tries to get it in off the right foot. Breaks out for Rothwell just outside the D. Rothwell moving it to the left to Wöber. Wöber's cross is curled it towards the far post. And Bogle was arriving there. The defender got in front of him, and that challenge saw the ball go up and over the crossbar and out for a corner.
Oh, Piroe has smashed his hands against the crossbar because he knows that's what he wanted. He should have been just half a yard in front. It just evaded him. What a ball it was from Max Wöber.
Leeds corner. This game is swinging from end to end here. James on the edge of the penalty area. Dan James has a shot. It loops goalwards. It's a corner. It's taken a deflection off the marking Hull player. And so Solomon has come to this near side and thought about maybe taking it, but Rothwell arrives now, surely to take control. Solomon may stay in proximity here just to offer a variation on the theme. Could really do with something coming from one of these set pieces. Rothwell to take it. Curls it in. Keeper's underneath it, gets a hand to it, pushes it out the penalty area, out to the far side, and Piroe lets it run. There's a man down inside the box, Hull player down inside the penalty area.
Jacob is the one that just got caught in a bit of a sandwich in there between the goalkeeper and Joe Rodon.
So some treatment is required here, potentially. Well, he's back on his feet now, so I think the game will resume with this Leeds throw in. Defender's okay. Bogle with the ball as we pass the hour mark here at the MKM Stadium, as it is these days. Started life as the KC Stadium way back. In it goes from Bogle, put into the middle, but there's nobody waiting there when Tanaka actually did well to get to it, lofted it into the middle of the area. The keeper was the only one underneath it, caught it comfortably, rolls it out, and then Hull play out from the back. Leeds pressure. Bogle sees the ball go back into the Hull penalty area, and then it's just clipped into touch for a throw-in. Defender couldn't take the risk that that wasn't a corner. Played out for the throw-in instead. Bogle by that far corner flag loses out. It's cleared as far as Rodon, who's in a very advanced position, falls over. Loses the ball, and it's cleared up and over the halfway line. Rothwell runs back into his own half to collect it.
João Pedro there, centre forward, is here, there and everywhere in a defensive mode rather than attack.
Wöber from Solomon. Back into Solomon, who's on the byline. Holds it in the penalty area. Solomon trying to get it goalwards. It runs across the face of goal. Bogle back into the middle. Dan James turns it in. Dan James at the near post. And at last, Leeds have made one of those little cutbacks count. James is there. Leeds have turned it round. It's Hull City 1, Leeds United 2.
Brilliant goal. Finally, we find that cutback. We find the right pass. Although initially, I thought it evaded everyone again, but Manor Solomon on this left-hand side. Brilliant wing play again. He sent Louis Coyle for hot dogs while he was sliding out on the pitch. Then he got his head up, put a fantastic ball across. Bogle recovered it on the far side, and when he pulled it back, well, there was Dan James just to tuck it in. It's been a really good start to this second half, and we're back in front. Or I should say we are in front.
Yeah, no back about it.
Yeah, no back about it. No, we've had to fight our way back.
So Dan James's voice, his name is on the throats of the Leeds United fans on that far side, which is interesting because I was sent a message to record by some Leeds fans in America earlier today where they wanted me to sing a new Dan James song that they've come up with. So I did it, and they said if I mentioned it on the coverage, they'd give $200 to charity. Bogle here for Leeds, plenty in the penalty area. Piroe, well, he stabs it goalwards. Didn't get any power on it. It was almost a contest between Piroe and James there as to who was going to hit the ball at goal.
Well, there's too many around the ball, isn't there? And a great area inside the box, and in the end, Piroe just tried to toe poke it almost towards goal, but another chance.
As the ball comes forward from Pandur, Solomon with a challenge, Wöber underneath it. Solomon again. Into Piroe. Can't get in between the two challenges from Hull players, but then it's played over the top for Aaronson to chase. Coyle will get there well ahead of him. Coyle just pushes it back to the goalkeeper. Piroe, full of running, chases to try and charge him down. Keeper clears comfortably. Wöber back into the whole half. Aaronson beaten in the air, but Wöber gets a foot into the second ball, and now Aaronson stumbles as he comes to the near touchline, and then the ball is with João Pedro just inside his own half, and he goes back to Jones. Across the back to McLoughlin. Ups it out wide to the left side touchline, where it was almost kept in touch by the racing figure of Jacob, but he slipped and it ran away from him and went out for a throw-in.
Yeah, so now the time to double down on the concentration. Yes, we've got our noses front, but relaxing is going to have to wait for another 25 minutes or so.
Leeds are going to stay at it, surely, here.
Yeah.
Ampadu out to his left to Wöber. And back he goes to Ethan Ampadu.
Well, I think there's more goals in it if we do just keep doing the right thing. I think Hull City, I talked about that confidence earlier. Well, while it was 1-0, of course, they're going to be confident. Suddenly, they've received a couple of blows. How will they react?
Well, you would say they've created as many chances against Leeds as any team we've seen recently. And Leeds have been living on their nerves a little at times. Byram is going to join the action for Leeds now. Sam Byram not quite ready to start this one, but is ready to appear in this second half. Wöber throws the ball down the line. He may be the replacement.
Well, he will, because I think, as Daniel said, previous game, didn't really think Wöber could last 45, yet here he is playing 65, so surely it must be Wöber to come off.
Ampadu caught, does well to win Leeds a free kick there, and he does celebrate it effectively. A little punch in the air as he's brought down, knowing that he's got his team a free kick, and the change will be made, I think, now as the board goes up. And Max Wöber exchanges a high five with Sam Byram, and Wöber heads towards the dugout. Bogle down the right side for Leeds, behind Rodon, who has to get back to Meslier. Long pump forward from Meslier. Piroe's chasing it. Jones is there underneath it, but his header comes straight for James on his chest. James tries to move it forward. He falls to the ground under a challenge. Game goes on with Leeds back in possession with Ampadu now Tanaka. And now look at the space for James. And Bogle's to his right if he needs him. James is up to the edge of the area. Bogle gets the ball now. Wasn't expecting it, so he almost kind of switched off there. And it goes off James and behind for a goal kick.
Oh, they made a right mess of that, didn't they? Timing of the pass wasn't good. Bogle then stopped, going offside. Then the pass was played to Bogle.
Changes for Hull now as well, with Burstow is about to come off for them. And Harry Vaughan, in midfielder, will come on to replace him. And the other change, we'll see Simons coming on to replace Alzate, who had one great run in the first half. That was probably the peak of his performance today. Xavier Simons goes in to replace him in midfield. It's a goal kick for Hull to get the game back underway again after those two changes. To be played short, it would appear. Although maybe Pandur has got different ideas. He has. He sends defenders forward, takes it long, over the head of Byram. Ampadu, good ball to Piroe. Piroe holds it up, passes it back to Rothwell. Rothwell. And now Tanaka. Curled wide to Bogle. Back towards the halfway line to Rodon, and then back into his own half to Ampadu. To this left, and Byram. And back it goes to Ampadu once more. And now Rodon. Ampadu takes it back off his central defensive partner. And they give it back to him. He does. They exchange another set of passes.
Well, how are they coming out, are they? They're just, sitting there, so why not? We need someone to come and press the ball, then we can start to get behind.
Dan James pushes down that right-hand side. It's broken into the middle, could have gone anywhere. Leeds had plenty in there. It's cleared out towards the edge of the box. Tanaka's headed back in, but that looping header up towards the halfway line. Leeds get it back into the edge of the box again. McLoughlin beats Aaronson, but Aaronson makes an intervention which almost wins Leeds the ball back. Bogle came in to help him out. And between the two of them, the ball spun away and into touch for a Hull throw-in right down by the corner flag.
And Jacobs, the one that hit the deck again. He's in the wars as the Hull City left back.
Just stretching out, maybe a touch of cramp in there as well.
Possibly. That's what tempo is really important. That's what it does to teams as well, is that, okay, you might not get your reward in the first hour or 70 minutes, but when it gets into 80 and up to 90, that's where suddenly the tiredness of the opposition pays dividends.
At the end of this really busy period of games for both sides, we're into the final 20 minutes nearly here. Hull with the ball back to the keeper, Pandur, who clears it away. Pedro chests it down in midfield. And then it's rolled to Jones, pushing forward. Into the Leeds half it goes. Byram wins the header, but Puerta's underneath it to collect for Hull. And then Jacob and McLoughlin back to the left back. Bogle cuts out the forward ball, but he's giving it away. And now Hull have players moving up to the edge of the area. Shot comes in, good block, still alive. Another block from Ampadu once and then twice. And both of those were really good efforts as it's curled back in towards the far post. Bogle had to get underneath that one, and he does. And James waits, and James rolls it forward to Rodon in front of him. And then back to James again. And then Tanaka. And Tanaka to Bogle, who's happy just to put some air underneath that one, up into the Hull half. And Hull pick up possession and look to come again.
Well, it's a warning, 20 minutes to go. This isn't over. Wow, long chalk.
Bodies on the line, stuff from Ethan Ampadu there, not once but twice. Hull in possession in their own half with Jones on the ball. Goes back to McLoughlin, who goes out to his left to Jacob. And then on to the sub, Vaughan. And then it ends up back with Pedro, the goalkeeper. And then Jones, centre-half, goes back to the keeper. Leeds pressing. On the edge of the area. Oh, it's given away. Straight to Piroe. Piroe's just outside the box. He's into the box. He shoots! Joel Piroe with a quality finish. The goalkeeper's error is punished. Leeds United have another. Piroe's got it for Hull 1, Leeds United 3.
That is one heck of a finish. It really is. Brilliant from Joel Piroe. And the keeper made an awful mistake, but still needed to show composure. Could he pick the right sort of finish? Well, he did. A touch, two touch, three touches. And then rifled it with that trusty left foot into the bottom corner. Well, Hull City, one up at half-time. Still got just under 20 minutes to go. Find themselves 3-1 down. It's been a great response from our boys. It really has. First half, well, they could have played, obviously, a lot better. But they've got themselves together. The reaction was superb. And now they find themselves with a 2-goal lead.
Leeds players extended celebrations in front of those fans. Some are behind the goal, some are level with the goal. They're at that end of the park. And they've seen 3 in now. And a couple of high-quality strikes from Tanaka and now Piroe.
And everything that was missing in the first half, wasn't it? I mean, those sort of chances, we had those opportunities, whether it was a pass or a shot. We really couldn't find the right sort of finish, but second half, we've been lethal.
And yet, in the midst of it all, Hull have had good moments.
They have, and they came back, and we saw there Kamara again on this right-hand side, coming inside with that left foot, just hitting a few Leeds players before it got to our goal, fortunately, but straight up the other end we go.
Tanaka with a header. James, and now Aaronson. Oh, look at me, look at the space here. Leeds have got 4 runners as Solomon picks it up down the left-hand side. Carries it into the penalty area. Curls his cross, comes shot in. Keeper flaps it away. Might well have been going in that. as a foul is committed by an over-anxious Ethan Ampadu. And he's scooped the ball back for the free kick to be taken, and then heads back into his own half to resume defensive duties.
Oh, keeper a little fortunate there, wasn't he? Of course, he made the mistake for that third goal. Clearly not quite over it, because that clearance with the punch was not good.
That's the benefit of the press, isn't it? Goalkeeper under instructions to clear the ball out. Bogle, there's a bit more confusion at the back for Leeds here. This is uncharacteristic. Nobody seemed to be ready to take control as Sam Byram played his backward. I thought Meslier was going to come and pick it up, but
well, it was a bad header. That's the problem. If it's Meslier, then you obviously you angle it to Meslier. If it's Bogle, but that one was kind of angled to no one in particular, and then that indecision, yeah, caused a bit of panic.
Free kick taken to Rodon. Walks it, pushes it back to Meslier. Out it goes to Ampadu. Now Byram. Anna Solomon in his own half. And to Rothwell. Can't find Piroe, crowded out of it. Jones on the halfway line for Hull. João Pedro. Well
Great
tackled.
closing down.
He thought it was, but the referee has seen it differently. And he's taking a free kick quickly here, and there's a chance for Hull to attack on the edge of the penalty area once more with Kamara in possession. Back it comes for Coyle. Coyle curls the ball into the middle, headed away by Joe Rodon. And then Tanaka. Oh, that's a misplaced ball from Tanaka straight to Coyle. Didn't have to be that way. Could have taken his time with that. Hull have it back with Jones. Out to Kamara on this near side. Kamara hits it at Piroe. Well, I think it's at Piroe's hand, actually, and the referee has spotted it. And that will be a free kick to Hull on the halfway line. Inside the final 15 minutes here at the MKM Stadium.
Just looking away at our substitutes, they're all out there, aren't they, warming up. I wonder who will just be brought on to see it through.
James battling away with Bogle down that Leeds right. Ball comes back from McLoughlin, back to the goalkeeper. I wonder whether there was a thought about getting in on him again there, but Piroe stays away. Jones has it. Back it goes to McLoughlin. McLoughlin looking for a long ball, goes through the middle. Good header from Byram, read it, cleared it a long way up with his header. Vaughan picks it up down the left for Hull City. Puerta trying to play the return ball to the young midfielder who drags back Bogle and commits a rather silly foul, really. And maybe knew he wasn't getting to that one. Gives Leeds a free kick.
Well, you said it, silly foul. That just makes Bogle's job a lot easier. Bogle just too quick for him. Gets back in front, but now we can just take our time. Push ourselves up near the halfway line and just take out some of the heat out the game, because it's for Hull now to try and raise the tempo, but if they do push on, take chances, we might have one or two more chances.
Well, in the Hull half, Bogle's going to let it run out, but it's a Leeds throw-in, pretty much on the halfway line. Jayden Bogle gets the ball back and prepares to take the throw. Short to Tanaka. Tanaka's caught and fouled as he made progress towards the ball. And Puerta down the back of the leg there, maybe.
Well, I'm just looking. I think he probably tried to step in between his legs, but I'm not sure he quite managed it, and that's just a little naughty.
Rodon for Leeds in the middle of his own half. Walks it forward and then plays it back into Ampadu. Ampadu calls players towards him. Byram gets it off him. Byram holds it up and puts it over the top, trying to look for the run of Solomon. It's just drifted beyond Mala Solomon. The gloved hands clap the attempt. And then it goes back into the penalty area to Pandur. And this time he gets his pass correct and gets it to Jones. Jones to Coyle. Up the line, near side Kamara infield, but that's picked up by Ampadu in the Hull half. Tries to play it through the middle for Aaronson. Aaronson's not getting to that. And then Ampadu, well, it's a strong challenge, and he did make contact with the ball, but he probably also made contact with the opponent, and the referee awards a free kick.
Yes, Simmons in that midfield felt the force of that challenge. You're right, I think he did get the ball, but it was after he collected a piece of the man.
Back he goes to the keeper in the D. Short ball forward from him to McLoughlin. And now Jones. Piroe is lurking. McLoughlin to his left. And then back it comes into the middle to Jones. Played out to Coyle on this near side. Coyle, the captain. Into Simons.
Great work.
Good work by Joe.
Yeah,
Rothwell.
it really was, because we just got slightly out of shape, but Rothwell decided to go to the first man, but he got back and then made the challenge.
Coyle has it just outside the Leeds penalty area. Turns and gives it to Slater, gets it back again. Leeds have got bodies in there. Booted away by Rothwell, but inaccurately. And then Aaronson with a foul on Puerta. So it's a free kick to Hull midway inside the Leeds half. It's pretty central. So Leeds retreat to the edge of the penalty area to defend it. And there are 10 minutes just over remaining here. So some more defensive work for Leeds United to prioritise. Puerta standing over the ball now. Referee still hasn't given the signal for it to be taken. Still looking down the line, as is his assistant. Now he does. In it comes. Oh, what's Meslier done? Oh! Well, the goalkeeper pushed it forward when it looked like it was going over there, and from close range it's tucked in. And Hull City have an absolute lifeline handed to them here. It's Hull 2, Leeds United 3. And Pedro was the man who tucked it in. What happened there?
Quite simply, it's an almighty blunder. Meslier, all he has to do is help it on its way. Just push it over the bar. Instead, he tries to keep it in, but the problem is momentum. He is moving backwards, and he's put the ball right in the middle of the goal. That is a mental error for Milan Meslier.
So there is much still to be done here. Ampadu out towards Byram. Byram just about keeps it in play, gives it to Solomon. Now for Rothwell. And Rodon. Rodon back it comes to Ampadu. And the home supporters were heading for the exits. They're not now. Ampadu, good ball to Bogle. Bogle pushes it on down that far side for James. Comes in field at pace. Byram's waiting out the other side of the penalty area, but nobody's gone that way. They've gone back to Rodon instead. And now Tanaka. And now Ampadu. And now out to Byram. Back to Ethan Ampadu. Short ball into Tanaka. Now Byram once more. Ampadu on the halfway line. Tanaka. Back it goes to Ampadu. And Rodon. Joe Rothwell joins in. Plays it through for James. Nice push ball to Aaronson. Further wide to Bogle. Level with the edge of the box. Bogle holds it up. Plays it into the path of James. Can't quite get there to cut the ball back though. It rolls beyond him and out for a goal kick.
Right, now get back, switch on, get into position. And let's get this ball back.
Jones back to the goalkeeper. It's pulled deep in their own half, deep in the penalty area indeed. It goes long from McLoughlin, beyond Rodon. And then suddenly there's a runner to pick up in the midfield. And Rodon is out of position. And Rodon then steps in and makes a great tackle. Well, referee's given a free kick and it's a yellow card against Joe Rodon. That just looked like the perfect tackle. Instead of which Leeds find that they have been penalised with a free kick and a card.
I thought the timing was excellent because he was catching the player anyway. He got just about level with him and then just wrapped his foot around to make the challenge. Got the ball, down they both went, but referee maybe thought it was from behind, but I thought it was a good challenge. But now got to defend this free kick.
So Leeds with a two-man wall. It's a long way out. The two-man wall is sent a little further back. Puerta, hands on hips. And again, the referee taking his time before giving the signal. And now still not happy. Now he does blast on the whistle. In it goes, heads up in the middle, headed clear, and it'll be picked up by Aaronson. And Solomon is set off on a run. If Aaronson can look up, there are runners going. It's given away. And Leeds are a little fortunate that one's then booted into touch from that attempted pass forward from Brendan Aaronson. So it'll be a Leeds throw in midway inside the Leeds half. 6 to go. 2-3.
Yes, we need to get back to dictating play, not being passive, and keep doing the right thing with that closing down.
Flick on from Aaronson. It's come back and James is going to get in and he can finish it. Oh, the keeper's outside the penalty area and he saved it with his head. James tried to loft it over him and the goalkeeper headed it away. And now Hull come down the left-hand side themselves with Vaughan, the sub. Pushes it just ahead of himself to João Pedro. Pedro against Bogle, and Bogle's fouled him. Just was he holding onto his arm? He was.
I don't know why he appeals to that. He's done that a few times. When the arms across him, he just grabs it and holds it. It's a foul. Good save, wasn't it, from the keeper with his head. Oh, we could have put it to bed at 4-2, but as it is, we've got plenty of defending to do.
So another free kick for Hull City. Everybody on the edge of the penalty area. Again, Puerta standing over the ball. Again, the referee waits and then blows. Whipped in, headed up towards goal. Bogle with a header underneath it. Tanaka just volleys it into touch on this near side for a Hull City throw in. And they are really anxious to get the game going with Simons throwing the ball back. Slater towards the far side of the area. Heads up from Rodon, and it's come off the top of the Leeds player's head and it's gone out for a throw in.
Yeah, important touch from Rodon. Just get your head on it. Here comes the throw.
It's going to be the long throw. Puerta races over to that far side to take it. Lots to aim at in the penalty area inevitably here. Whipped into the near post, bounces through into the hands of Meslier. And Meslier, well, he thought about throwing it out quickly to James, and then he slows things down instead and just rolls it to Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu to his left to Byram. Back it goes to Ampadu. Ampadu goes back into Meslier. And he goes long out towards the far side to James. Beaten in the air by the fullback. Headed on by Bogle. Goes into touch for a Hull throw in, almost on the halfway line. And it's thrown into the Leeds half to Puerta. And then hooked back into Jones at the back in the middle of the Hull half. Jones rolls it on to Puerta again. Aaronson tries to close him down to get the ball off. He's got the ball off him. He's done well. And Aaronson has won Leeds a really good free kick there. Brendan Aaronson just showing what's required at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just hard work. Put your body in the way. Get free kicks if you can, but press, press, press. As a team, as a unit. And what we do know about Aaronson, that's exactly what he does, doesn't he? From minute 1 to minute 90, just works really hard.
Matteo Joseph is ready to come on for Leeds, but probably not before this free kick. Bogle, can't imagine they're going to take this one long. They go wide to the right side to James. Bogle comes in field. James goes into the box, but not the best cross from James there. And it's won back, and now Hull look to counter-attack, and they have the ball over the halfway line. It's helped wide to the left-hand side to João Pedro. Comes in from the touchline a little way. Bogle's in front of him. Onto the edge of the penalty area to Vaughan. Vaughan still trying to work space for the ball, and it comes out to this right side to Jones. Jones delivers into the edge of the penalty area. Cleared away by Rothwell, but there's nobody in a white shirt waiting for it. Jones on the halfway line. Oh, he's done well to drop the shoulder and get the ball to Coyle, and Coyle can push forward again here. And Coyle helps it onto Kamara just outside the box. And Kamara whips it in and it comes off Rothwell and flies up over his own crossbar for a corner.
Just for a minute, I thought that from Rothwell may have been going on target at the far stick, but my goodness, she's got to show a bit of composure. But Hull, they're coming back at us.
So Leeds have to defend a corner as the crowded area, 6-yard box, is full of shirts of both sides. In it comes. Meslier can't get there. Kamara drives it in on the volley, and it goes beyond the keeper and into the net. And Hull City have come back in this game, and that is real bad news for Leeds. Hull 3, Leeds 3.
It's an excellent goal from Kamara. He scored the first, and now he scored his side's third as well. Corner kick from that side had been superb. Delivery has been really good, but this one, when it does come out to Kamara, he still has plenty to do. It's falling out of the air, but he volleys it superbly well, straight back past Meslier for the equaliser. So disappointing as well, because at 3-1 you have to kill games off. You've got to put it to bed. Instead, we've allowed Hull back in. First, an awful mistake from Meslier, and there, just adding pressure. Eventually, it told with a good finish from Kamara.
Leeds make changes. Rothwell off, Guilavogui on, and Joseph on for Piroe. Leeds again concede from a very late corner kick, just as in the game against Blackburn. 4 added minutes, the board is up. That's how close it was to the final minute of the game. And suddenly Leeds find themselves again having surrendered a lead at a crucial time, at a late period. But the circumstances surrounding this have been particularly worrying in terms of Leeds were in complete control at 3-1 up. Leeds with James down the right-hand side. Dan James whips it in. Joseph was arriving, and the goalkeeper keeps the ball in play. And that was a real chance for Leeds with the ball in towards Joseph. The defender did well, got across him, just kept him away.
Was excellent play all round. Dan James brilliant on the right-hand side, put it in a great area. Really good run from Joseph, but defending was certainly a match to it.
First of the added minutes has elapsed here. Ball comes off Bogle. And suddenly they've got runners down the left side. And Bogle's got it's back into the penalty area, and the run is ongoing. Bogle makes a fine challenge. And Leeds it is who managed to get the ball away, and suddenly Leeds have got bodies forward. A poor ball from Ampadu. And so now Leeds have got to defend because the ball is played back up to Pedro. Scoops it up. Guilavogui there. And Bogle, he's lucky, but he's managed just to ride the challenge, and he wins he doesn't win a free kick, does he?
No, he throws himself. I thought he threw himself to the ground there. What are we doing all of a sudden? From 3-1 up with, 15 minutes to go or so, to this. I've said it all along, I think we've all said it, that the biggest competitors to win this title and get promotion is actually ourselves. We can just see things out. We haven't been able to do it today, and Kamara is coming off for Hull City. 2 excellent goals, very different goals, but both technically very good indeed.
Sellars-Fleming, one of the 2 subs coming on for Hull City in the very closing stages of this game. Not surprisingly, those Leeds fans on the far side, who were all animation and joy not so long ago, are looking on in a state of some disbelief here, really.
They're stunned, aren't they? It's all right. I suppose you've got to look at the amount of games we've had, and this period is a little crazy, and you think, okay, 3-1, okay, I can relax and see it through, but you can't. This is the Championship. It's the beauty of this league, but I say beauty, I'm not feeling very great at this point in time, but can we find a winner? Come on.
Well,
There's not much time left to try and do that currently. And with Sheffield United winning away, things just got very tight at the top again. Leeds down the right-hand side. Bogle, in it comes behind James, bobbling around, but it's cleared away before Joseph can get there. Leeds throw in, pretty much level with the edge of the penalty area. Bogle is not being given the ball back by a Hull City fan who's teasing him or taunting him with it. Guilavogui breaks for Bogle. Goes through the legs of his opponent. Another Leeds throw in. And we're almost up here. We've almost hit the 4-minute mark, so the ball has to go in immediately, really. Rodon has it. Out wide right side to Bogle. Bogle trying to cross it. He gets it in now. Heads go up in the middle. Byram was underneath it. Headed clear. Comes back out from Anna Solomon. Solomon on the edge of the box. Comes inside his man. Shoots. Easy catch of the keeper. And the supporters around us celebrate as if a goal's been scored. As Pedro drops to his knees, ball in hand. And that will be just about that, I think, as the goalkeeper picks himself back up again and walks up towards the edge of the penalty area. And this kick forward into the Leeds half bounces through everybody. Rodon collects it. Still the game goes on. Leeds have it with James. There are 4 runners through the middle as Dan James puts it onto the edge of the area, cleared away, and then Vaughan is happy to hook it into touch. That's the last action of the game. Well, how did that happen? Leeds United 3-1 up and cruising towards 3 big points. And Hull City have hit back not once but twice, and Hull take a point themselves. And the Leeds players look like they can't quite believe it, and the Leeds fans look like they can't quite believe it either. It's finished here. Hull City 3, Leeds United 3.
Well, quite simply, that is hugely disappointing, and we only have ourselves to blame. After an average first 45 minutes, Hull City got their noses in front, but the response in the second half was superb. It really was, and we showed that quality, that fight, the desire, the organisation to get ourselves 3 goals. But with 15 minutes to go, you're 2 goals up, and all of a sudden, how can we lose it from then? Firstly, Meslier, that's a really poor mistake, and then after that, still couldn't see it out. So hugely disappointing. It is a point. Yes, we're away from home, another one to add to the tally, but just look at certain games where we've let points slip, and this, along with that Sunderland game, got to be right up there with 2 very disappointing results.
Could have been 6 points from the last 2 games for Leeds. It's turned into 2 points, so this is one that the players will reflect on with no great sense of fondness. They've done the job. It surely seemed the points were in the bag, and then they weren't. And it's finished all square, and the players go and applaud the fans, but everyone's in a bit of a state of shock here, frankly. It's finished somehow. Hull City 3, Leeds United 3.
Well, the game's really heating up now. Keeping that energy flowing. Talk about control. Constant, steady performance, no matter the weather. Lovely charge forward there. That was smart play.
Something magical is living in my house. If I spill or make a mess, the next moment it's magically gone. I never see them, but they get everywhere. Is it fairies or mini little people? Is it you? Everything is so sparkly, sparkly. Mummy says try not to make too much mess, so we don't scare them away.
No magic, no spells, just astonish.
Escape to a land where it's no work and all play. There's no such thing as speed limits. Where wild animals roam. And around every corner is a new adventure. Where you live amongst nature and giant rabbits come and say hello. Escape to Flamingo Land. Book your day pass online at flamingoland.co.uk.
Oh, new TV?
Yeah, it's the new Hisense Mini LED.
Should have asked me what to get. We've got a 65-inch with Mini LED, but you've got to be paying at least £2,000 for that.
Actually, this one has all those features and more, and we didn't pay anything like that. Looks great, doesn't it?
Well, 3-3 then. Quite the game over in Hull. A point to take back to Ellen Road. Don Matteo and Michael Bridges with us here in the studio. Bridges, I'll start with you. I don't actually quite know where to start with that. Other than Leeds had it in their hands, and as Bryn and Tony were saying there, it feels like a bit of like they're throwing it away.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm fuming here, to be fair, and I'm not even the coaches or the players that are down there, you know, the fans that are going to be travelling back. It's coach-killing moments when you make fundamental errors. You know, we've gone away, scored 3 goals away from home. We're 1-0 down at half-time. I said there was going to be chances second half. I was very confident at half-time, saying we will get opportunities, we'll take them and score them. And then to see the defensive frailties once again, it's just not good enough. It's not acceptable, because I think you can't just isolate and blame one player in the goalkeeper. I had a go at him for the first goal. The second goal, that you can't prevent that. He's got to just tip it over the bar. But it's that, what it does, it gives the opposition that moment to think, oh, it's back to 3-2, we've got a chance here. And fair play to Hull, they managed to get themselves back in it, but we've only got ourselves to blame. I'm raging. As a defender, you'd be fuming.
Yeah, no, but 3-1, you were just so open still. 3-1, you know,
game management out the window.
Exactly, we're just so open still.
Yeah.
You know, just do the basics, do things right. I just feel like that should have been 3 points. Unfortunately, we're now talking about a draw, which again, you know, it's just frustrating for the fans, frustrating for us watching it, be frustrating for the players and frustrating the manager, because, again, we're in such a good position. That game should have been put to bed. No two ways about it.
And say it's another, we're undefeated again, but from 3-1 you can't sugarcoat that. I mean, you know, we're all raging here, so the players will be hurting very. I can't wait to hear what the manager has to say if we get an opportunity.
But don't you think, you know, the talkers, the leaders, the organising that group have to be saying something at 3-1? Yeah. Come on, right, boys. You know, let's make sure there's no mistakes. You know, I'm always going to go back to do the basics, right, of course, but we just, for me, that's what we are doing wrong at times. We're just not putting it to bed, and then they're getting the chances, they're taking them, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're getting a draw when we should be 3 points.
There's a lot of Leeds fans around the world that are watching this would have thrown the TV remote at the TV when it went back to 3-3.
Yeah.
Well, if you have smashed your TV, apologies, but don't invoice us. We're not responsible. Let's take a look at how this game has panned out, because there are 6 goals in the end. I don't think at half-time we necessarily thought that's the way it was going to go, but it all started off, of course, with Hull taking the lead and a bit of a defensive mix-up, really. Talk us through this one, Dom, because you were talking about positioning, and it's a good finish in the end by Kamara, but what could Leeds do?
Well, Bogle's run out the ball, didn't really get tight enough, and then obviously the 2 centre-halves are a little bit further forward than what they should be. We haven't dealt with the ball over the top. Can the goalie do better? I think he can. He doesn't really do anything, to be fair. It makes the striker an easy decision to just chip it over. But again, can we do better? Look at the position of all the players here. We're all going that way. Well, I don't know why we're all going to the right. He's out of position. Then, like you say, he's made a man up and he's just chipped at him.
It was kind of like a half-hearted press.
Yeah.
All the players on one side of the field. And what they do, they leave Kamara in a 1v1 situation with Max Wöber, and he's just... Obviously, Max has been ball watching, hence why Kamara's in front of him.
But Bridgie, we're talking about experienced players there. We're not talking about young uns. We're talking about experienced players should understand.
Rodon and Ampadu.
That's what I'm saying.
Recognise the moment.
I just feel like with the back four we had there, experience-wise, defensively, we look vulnerable and we shouldn't be.
And Dom alluded to it as a striker, and I see that goalkeeper, Meslier, coming out to me. He's made my decision for me. It's an easy little lob there. So if he stays a little bit more, I take a touch, then I'm going, right, am I slotting it, am I chipping him, am I dinking him? So he puts doubt into my mind then, whereas I think that he's really, for me, in that striker position, he's answered my question. It's an easy finish. OK,
let's look at some of the good stuff, because there was good stuff from Leeds United, and certainly how they reacted after half-time, getting themselves back on level terms straight away. And Dom, it was interesting, you said at half-time, something like, are we trying to score the perfect goal? Do we just need to hit it? Tanaka clearly heard you. I don't know whether he got an earpiece in there, but no, look at this for a beauty.
Absolute brilliant strike. And, we've seen it at times. I've been saying and screaming it, saying, get a shot, have a shot, smash it, And by the way, he's guided that brilliantly as well. What brilliant finish, isn't it? Do you expect that from Tanaka? Now we're seeing, he's bringing goals like that to the table as well. What a finish. Absolutely perfect. You couldn't have hit it any better and guided it right into that top.
The question you say is have a shot. When you know he has this capability, I'd love to see him try it more often, like Dom says. Instead of, why not? And I'm sure something was said at half-time. I know we talked about in the studio, you said, what will Daniel Farter be saying at half-time? That definitely came up to say, we want plenty of shots. Let's test this goalkeeper from longer range. And what a finish.
Well, Tanaka getting his first for the club there. He has threatened in the past. He certainly laid on plenty of goals this season, but a beauty to put Leeds on level terms, and it wasn't long before they took the lead as well. And a player who scored plenty of times for Leeds this season and plenty of times since he's been a Leeds player, Dan James, getting on the end of a cross to put this in. Just talk us through this one. Second goal here for Leeds to put them 2-1 ahead, and at this point it looked like, well, Leeds are very much on the ascendancy.
What is goals spread confidence, and we won the front foot here, and we said second half there would be chances where we were going to take the opportunities. So after that first goal, this is a lovely little passage of play here. The little intricate 1-2 give and go. Solomon getting in the wide area, and then that little, I think, I told Tony DeRigo allude to it and say he sent the defender for a mince pie there. That was brilliant because he slid off the field. The quality that we discussed at half-time, could we pick out a pass or get that finish? Well, what happened? When there's the little crossfield ball here, that little cutback's tremendous. You actually looked up, found a player that was free, and thankfully it was Dan James this time that it fell to. He's in acres, and that's a lovely finish. That is the momentum that Leeds needed.
Yeah, and to be fair to Bogle as well, when the ball's coming here now, Bogle, he just pulls it back into the right area, and Dan, to be fair, just slots it in. But nice
Still
finish.
love that Solomon on Coyle there. I said I wanted somebody to give Coyle a torrid time. They're the moments that you cherish as attackers when you destroy a defender like that.
Leeds soon went 3-1 in the lead, and at this point, they had a really strong patch of play here. They did everything right from half-time up until this point to score the third goal, don't they? And here we go, Joel Piroe with a goal that's not dissimilar, but on the other side from the one he scored at Ellen Road. But, the goalkeeper here...
Yeah, the goalie wasn't great, was he? But fair play to Piroe. It's an absolutely brilliant, clinical finish. And we know he's the best finisher at the club. There's no two ways about that. But that is great technique, bang, into the far corner. As Bridgie will tell you, it's a hard technique, that, but you have to hit it hard and low into that corner. And he does it brilliantly, but again, it's really poor defending from Hull, but at least he's there, and he's the one who seems to find the net more than most.
Words that you were told from such a young age when you were a striker, from every coach. When you get the ball, go low and hard back across the goalkeeper. And Joel Prue showed absolutely why, because they're stranded. It's so hard to do. That's a top-class finish. But he was gifted it in that moment from the whole players, and we capitalised on 3-1. I'm celebrating.
But at least we did press that as well.
Yeah.
So we pressed, that's why it happened. So
forced teams into errors.
Exactly. So there was good bits about that, but obviously we'll see what happens now.
Now, at this point in the game, and I'll admit it, like we're having a conversation here, say, can Leeds go and get a fourth? Can Leeds go and get a fifth? Is this the team that, because Hull looked all over the place at that point?
But did we need to go and get a fourth and a fifth? We didn't. That's where Don talks about the game management of this football club. That we need at a point when you're 3-1 up away from home, you've got to shut shop at some point. So we don't need to go and win 4 and 5. It's not about goal difference. It's about winning the games and getting maximum points. And that's where we let ourselves down today.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. From that experience we talked about that we've got in our group, they just didn't do it. And you've got to be bang at that and make sure that we don't make them simple errors that we've been doing. And listen, it kind of, it's disappointing, isn't it? We're both sat here disappointed, but the players will be gutted about that. And sometimes you've got to get back on the coach and because they'll be hurting after that.
I said I wouldn't watch Blackburn on a regular basis because I don't like the way they play. I would have loved to have seen our mentality to just go and put 11 men back behind the ball at 3-1 and say, come on then, are you good enough to break us down? Yeah. Would have been a different scenario. We will cross for reaction from the MKM Stadium, but before we do have to look at these couple of goals that unfortunately... we don't have to. Straw poll. I think we probably should. That saw it go from 3-1 to a 3-3 draw in the end. And talk us through this one. Not me, because I'll say something and I'll probably not work for LUTV again.
Pedro eventually getting the goal, but it's a disappointing one to concede.
It is, and Elon's obviously we criticised from the first goal, and unfortunately again he's not got it right, has he? He's palmed it back into the wrong area, and it's just a tap in. But the guy's read it. But look at this here. It's just, you've got to deal with it.
Doesn't need to touch it.
But we haven't dealt with it either. Yeah, he doesn't have to touch it. We haven't. But again, we're not dealing with stuff. Deal with it. He's an experienced goalkeeper now, and that is a poor goal, really is, and gives them the hope to try and get back in it, and they certainly did.
Joe Rodon's response there, just at the clip at the end there, was the feeling that everybody that is a Leeds United fan and player felt, because he just literally said, well, what are you doing at that moment? That's a coach killer moment, because that's the moment where they get they get that confidence back to think that they're on the front foot again.
I hope now when you get in the dressing room, the players do have a bit of a go at each other, because you've got to have that. If you want to be successful, you've got to have that. We had Bridgie in the dressing room. You've got to have that mentality. And I'm hoping that Joe does say to him, I'm not digging people out, but, you have to have them conversations for us to get better as a team and as a club.
In the end, it was the player who'd been involved in all the pre-match press conference and apologies to Hull fans for something he posted on social media, but that sometimes is the football story, isn't it? A player who's in the bad books last week suddenly comes up with a second goal. Kamara scoring the goal that eventually made it 3-3 in the end. And of course, it's disappointing to concede again in this manner, but talk us through the goal.
It's a set play goal, and it's an unbelievable volley and finish, there's no doubt about it. But why was Kamara free on the edge of the area? Yeah. So the cross is coming, it's a delivery into a dangerous area. Dom knows as that defender. When it's in that 6-yard box, Meslier's coming, but obviously Byram's got the header. He's got to make the header. And he's put it into an area where somebody's unmarked. Now I'm wanting to question, why is there a player unmarked inside our penalty area? And the volley makes it 3-3.
When the ball comes in, we're all facing that way. No one's looking, there's no awareness looking round. Keep looking, scanning, look round. We weren't doing that.
I would love to get that space inside the penalty
Exactly,
area.
Yeah, and they got it and they took the advantage. Brilliant finish, but it could have been avoided. But it really could.
OK, let's cross to the MKM and get some post-match reaction for you after this 3-3 draw over at Hull. Here's Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo, our commentary team.
What's that they say? Easy way, hard way, Leeds way. I think we've seen the Leeds way today, haven't we, Tony?
We certainly have, yes. Unfortunately, you can't play in fits and starts. You also have to, concentrate throughout the whole 90 minutes. And what you don't want to do is give the opposition a leg up. And if you look at the first goal, I think defensively we were, all over the place at the back. Wöber just out of position, and then of course Meslier with the second. After getting back in the game, scoring 3, excellent goals, to then suddenly come away with just a point is disappointing.
Well, absolutely, because once the third had gone in, you couldn't. I mean, the whole City fans, they'd had enough. Few of them were on their way home. you couldn't see a way back into the game for them, but they were handed that opportunity.
They were, and we had a sense of control, didn't we, in the second half, in that we dominated possession. You know, we pushed Hull back. They were giving it straight back to us. We scored goal after goal after goal. All you then need to do is just kind of see the game out, and it's concentration, no mistakes. And we did. We handed them that goal. You could see and feel suddenly things changing, but I'm not quite sure why it had to change so much, because we should then be able to at least, you know, defend, see the game out. But we couldn't, and that's a worry. And they had one or two other chances as well.
So when the players reflect on that one, and they've suffered this late setback in the last 2 matches now, how do you work through that and make sure it doesn't become a bigger thing?
Certainly those little mistakes, those individual mistakes, we have to, you know, eradicate those. And what you can't do, I think, is give any opportunity, any leg up, as I say, to the opposition. So try and, you know, not make those mistakes. We talked about the first goal. That was important. It went against us, but we came back wonderfully well. So, you know, that half hour in the second half I thought was really, really good. But you can't then not play for the other hour.
And ultimately, the position at the top of the table is now very, very tight again. Leeds just clinging on in there. The other two teams below in particular have gone away, played really good opposition and come away with wins themselves. This job is far from over, is it?
Yeah, and our name is Leeds United. You have to remember that as well. So we know it's going to be difficult. You look back at certain results, and you know we could be quite a way clear at the top, but could be we're not. You know, we haven't. We've made some mistakes along the way. We haven't got those points. However, a bit of calm needs to, I think, be around as well. In that we are top of the table. We are still a point clear, and we know we can do better.
In terms of what's coming up here, there's the FA Cup next weekend. Is it a good time perhaps for Leeds to have this little step away from things again now?
It is, and take a breather, regroup, recharge the batteries. We also have to take into account the amount of games that we've had in a short space of time, and added pressure. So yeah, I think the cup game it's a good time. No doubt one or two others will get a run out in those games, because there's one or two that are no doubt itching to prove themselves, and then we go again.
This festive period, it's difficult to know now how to reflect on it. Started so well, hasn't ended in the way we wanted it to end by any stretch of imagination.
No, it hasn't. But before the Christmas period, we weren't top of the table. So now we are. So overall, we just got to keep going. You're going to get some disappointments along the way. 46 games, we cannot win them all. We saw one or two weekends kind of go our way. This one hasn't.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll hear from the manager shortly. There is much to reflect on here. I can't imagine he'll be incredibly happy with the way the game went in those final 15 minutes or so, but we'll know soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we will indeed. Thanks to Bryn and Tony. Also, a very cold day over there at the MKM as well. And it is a point. You talked about the other teams as well. Sheffield United have won away, 2-1 at Watford. Burnley beat Blackburn earlier on today. Listen, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? We've had those days where we've won.
Positivity?
I was going to say where we've had it does swing around, doesn't it, at the moment? And it's really tight there at the top of the table. This is going to go some distance.
I am not listening to you, Rich. I'm getting rid of that negativity. All I heard was blah, blah, blah. I'm going to listen to Tony. He said there, we are top of the league. We weren't before Christmas. We got the 2 wins away. We've had 2 draws back-to-back. We're still unbeaten and we're top of the league. There you go.
Oh, you told me. That's fine. Absolutely. But these games, they come thick and fast, and they're all crucial.
Of course they do. And obviously, the Championship is a beast. We all know that. Every game's difficult, and away from home as well. But listen, we know we should have had 3 points now. We haven't. So we regroup. We get back home, we rest up, and then we get ready for the FA Cup game.
Obviously, Tony was just chatting about that FA Cup game. Do you think it's coming at a good time for us against Harrogate?
I think possibly. The thing is, people need games. There's a few who will want to go out and do something and maybe get a few goals for the confidence. Mateo Joseph is one that hopefully starts, gets a few goals, confidence, and gives him a bit of a boost. So, listen, you can use it for the right way. But listen, FA Cup won't be easy. No games are. And it depends on the manager, on his choice of the players he plays. You're going to have to play a few experienced players, of course, because we haven't done an FA Cup run for a long time.
Or a home tie a long time.
Yeah, so, let's go there, do a proper job, get some goals, but like you say, we've got to respect Harrogate as well a little bit.
From a player's point of view after today, and Pascal Stryker talked after that game at home against Blackburn, because